In Kolkata, the sun is shining, a gentle breeze ruffling the flags at the far end of the ground. Above the Bismarck Dutt stand, underneath those enormous floodlight pylons and the buildings beyond, there's not a cloud in the sky. There's a haze overhead, around about 31 degrees or so, and a fresh pitch for us to enjoy. As I look to my left, Stephen Finn, England multi-time Ashes winner, veteran of T20 and 50 over World Cups as well. Stephen, it's, I think, fair to say, if England do not win today, it would be the biggest shock in their cricketing history.
Yeah, I think that probably
is fair.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I can't think of an instance where there's been a bigger upset. They've clearly their record against European teams improved in World Cups against Scotland the other day, but on the whole, it's been poor, hasn't it? I think less than a 50% success rate across all iterations of World Cups, both 50 over and 20 over. So yeah, it's an opportunity to swing that pendulum the other way today, but they'll have to be on their guard. Italy played really well against Nepal the other day to win by 10 wickets, and that was a bit of a shock, to be honest, especially given how Nepal pushed England in that very first game. So it's going to be fascinating, but certainly England should be winning this game. Well,
England's lineup is unchanged once again from the victory that they achieved over Scotland. It was a 5-wicket win. England's performances so far have been mixed, as Harry Brook said. The win over Nepal was a just about sort of victory, and then a big defeat against West Indies before the 5-wicket win over Scotland. England with Phil Salt and Joss Buttler, neither of whom have quite got going. Salt had a little explosion of run scoring in Mumbai, but has yet to get the big score. Jacob Bethel's played nicely. Tom Banton was excellent in the last match, scoring 63 unbeaten. Harry Brook, the captain, Sam Curran, Will Jacks, Jamie Overton keeps his place. He's been the one changeable element of this side. Came in for Luke Wood for the West Indies game, has kept his place since then. Liam Dawson, Jofra Archer and Adil Rashid. So that is how England line up, with wins against Nepal and Scotland and a defeat against the West Indies thus far. Italy have played just twice. They lost against Scotland and then had a 10-wicket win over Nepal. So they line up with the Mosca brothers at the top of the order. I spoke to them yesterday, wonderful characters, and they were the partnership that scored 124 between them in the way to that famous win over Nepal, and as they won by 10 wickets. JJ Smuts, the former South Africa international, Harry Manenti alongside brother Ben Manenti, Sydney Bourne, versatile players, but very much with Italian roots. Marcus Campopiano, Grant Stewart, Jean-Pierre Amid keeps wicket, Jasprit Singh, Krishan Kulagamika, who's a pizza chef by trade, leg spinner, player of the match in a previous match as well in this tournament, and Ali Hassan. So that is how the Italy side line up. I mean, not a huge number of recognisable names. JJ Smuts, former South Africa international, will be the most noted, I suppose, and then Ben Manenti, somebody that's played for the Sydney Sixers in the BBL, and so there is a little bit of notoriety there, I suppose, but Italy are a side that they are in the main part-timers.
Yeah, and when you're one of the major teams playing against a team like Italy, there are a lot of unknowns. You come into a lot of games, especially bilateral series, and against the bigger teams, and you kind of know what to expect. There's footage, there's loads of data on players to be able to work out how you want to bowl at someone or how you want to bat against someone. But against these teams where that data is very limited, they can catch you on the hop sometimes, especially if they're quirky actions or they've got a particular set of skills. So England will have to do a lot of problem solving on the spot today, which one of the challenges for the main teams against the smaller ones.
Wayne Madsen, by the way, is the captain of this Italy side, but a dislocated shoulder means he's out.
Grant Stewart as well is worth keeping an eye on. The people in domestic cricket, the guys will know a lot about him. Powerful batter, can hit the ball a long way, and a skillful swing bowler as well. So he'll be one to keep an eye on for Italy.
Well, as for the Italy side, there's a lot of accusations, they're not really Italian, but let me tell you, 5 members of the squad have made residency in Italy and been there from a young age, and so very much would count themselves as proper, they are Italian, and the rest of them pretty much all come from Italian heritage via a grandparent, because you have to qualify. And chatting to the Mosca brothers yesterday on the Boundary Edge, some wonderful quotes about the fact that as kids, they'd walk around in Italy football shirts, and they still do most of their conversing using their hands, and they sing Andrea Bocelli on the team bus on the way back home. And yeah, it's not going to be necessarily the biggest sport in Italy, we know that, but if they can make a bit of a statement in this tournament, which they've done with that win over Nepal, then they'll be so far along the way to growing the game in Italy, a country that at the moment doesn't have a single natural pitch.
Well, it's one of the beautiful things about the opportunity that tournaments like this give those teams, isn't it? And that's why for quite some time we've been saying expand the tournament, not to a silly level, but this feels about right. 24 teams all fighting it out, and opportunities to put themselves in a shop window to grow the sport in their country. So it can only be a good thing, and they started that against Nepal the other day, and this would be a major scalp to convince someone to build to lay a grass pitch in Italy.
It's just the second game they've ever played, Italy, against a full member nation, the previous one being Ireland, and actually beat Ireland in January as well. So there is a little bit of history here for an Italy side who've played 2 matches so far, the only side in this group to have played 2 games. With everyone else having so far played 3. We're not far from the sides appearing away from the Italian national anthem, which is a real thrill because it's one of the crackers. So looking forward to that one. Eden Gardens is a picture. I just bumped into a family downstairs, and that thing when you see a young sports fan walking up the steps and seeing the stadium for the first time, and the wide-eyed wonder. And it's England against Italy. It's not a game, it's not Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni playing, but this young fan, who can't be more than 5 or 6, with his mum and dad, Rupesh he was called, he looked more excited than anyone I've ever seen arriving at a cricket game to be here and watching on. And so I hope they have a brilliant day. And those fans that have made their way in, we had 50,000 in for England against Scotland. Working day this week, so it won't be quite as many you'd have thought, but plenty of the Azzurri are here. We can see lots of Italy shirts, lots of Italy flags as well. And we know that this game has cut through in Italy, and just reading some of the reports and some of the headlines that we've seen. Of course, Italy is a country at the moment that is hosting a Winter Olympics. Football is very much the big sport in Italy, but you look at some of the reactions to things, and it's some wonderful quotes out there with iconic Italian magazine and newspaper Gazzetta dello Sport describing the win against Nepal as a result that enters the anthology of our sport. And that's what World Cups do, and it's brilliant to see. Italy's flags are flying. There was an Italy shirt at the ground as well, at the hotel rather, this morning as we set off to make our way to the venue. The 2 umpires are leading their way out towards the middle with those great big flags in front of us, and the 2 sides to follow. Italy all in blue, England with the red shirts and the blue bottoms. And we're not far away from the anthems, with England knowing a victory will secure their passage to the Super 8. And they will fully expect to do so as well. It would be a major shock if they're not there, having qualified through to the next phase of the competition, as the 2 sides walk past either the only trophy of the World Cup, or possibly they've got a few that do the rounds and getting the air miles during the tournament, because there was one yesterday in Colombo as far as I can see. But here come the sides with the sparklers twirling down below us. And it's a wonderful scene in Kolkata, I have to say. This brilliant venue, ready for a sporting fixture. I didn't think we'd ever see Italy against England in the cricket, but what a treat it is to be here, and what a treat it is to bring it to you here on 5 Sports Extra with Test Match Specials. So, teams lining up in front of us. It's time for the national anthems of England and Italy. Well, come on, you can't not be moved by that. Sensational. Well, one anthem that's been sung many times at Cricket World Cups, one in the very early phase of its introduction into the world of international cricket. But what a moment that was for Italy and their players. And just one little note, we spoke about Justin Mosca, the opening batter. Well, he's specially grown his hair to look like Paolo Maldini, the Italian great footballer who they actually met at Dubai Airport on their way through. And he looked every bit the mid-90s Italian footballer. He could have been at France 98, Finny.
Yeah, he looked like a centre-back there, didn't he? Nice pairing with Nesta. Yeah, they were demons in that World Cup. Remember it very well. But the passion of the anthem there, the families in the stands wearing the Italy shirts, holding their hearts, and the crest of Italy. It just shows what it means, doesn't it? And the Italy players in a tight huddle now with photographers trying to peer over and under inside it to try and hear what's being spoken. And it will be, let's try and hit them hard very early. A couple of early wickets. Butler and Salt haven't quite fired yet this tournament as a partnership, have they? But both have the opportunity to bat on a fresh pitch here and put Italy under pressure, and actually both of them love batting here. Scored over 400 runs each in T20s here. Butler's scored 100, Salt has scored 550. So if there's anywhere that they would like to get their tournament up and running, both of them, then this could be and should be the venue. And also I'd like Phil Salt to do a bit of damage, because I picked him as my leading run scorer, and at the moment he's miles off in the tournament.
You also picked Kuldeep Yadav as your leading wicket taker,
and he's played one game.
He's played one game. Though in fairness,
we're cutting edge punditry.
In fairness to you, Finny, what I would also point out is that this is a tournament that has provided some surprises in that regard. I think maybe none more so than the fact that the leading wicket taker at the moment is actually the United States fast bowler Shadley van Schalkwyk, who's comfortably ahead as the leading wicket taker. So I don't think many of us had old shadows on our list.
No, and a lot of our colleagues picked Abhishek Sharma to be the leading run scorer in the competition, and he currently has played 2 innings and scored 0 runs and only faced 3 balls. So yeah, I'll take solace in that fact.
Now. Right then, here we go. England against Italy in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. The second of 3 matches for you today on 5 Sports Extra, BBC Sounds across ABC as well in Australia. And I know that you will be very much looking forward, or perhaps just with a bit of trepidation, the coverage for the game between Sri Lanka and Australia later on today. Crunch match in that group after Australia's defeat against Zimbabwe. That's coming up later on today. We've already seen a victory for Afghanistan in the day's opening fixture against the UAE. And here, England winning the toss, electing to have a bat first. We're at Eden Gardens for you on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. And we are pretty much ready to go with Phil Salt ready to face the first ball that's going to be delivered from down below us by JJ Smuts, the former South African international, with a gentle breeze buffeting his blue Italian jersey. He's got the long sleeves. He's got a field set with 2 on the boundary on the leg side, long on and deep mid-wicket in front of a bank of supporters. It almost looks as though there's fans sort of flowing down the stairs as more and more come in. As we get away from the umpire, our 2 in the middle, Chris Brown and Donovan Cock. And Palliker is our TV umpire, and JJ Smuts with the left arm spin round the wicket comes into bowl. It's short and it's wide and it's clattered down the ground for 4. Well, it sat up invitingly, and I think Phil Salt said, if you're going to bowl me that first up, you can only expect one outcome, and that outcome is going to be a boundary. England 4 without loss.
Yeah, nice dismissive start by Phil Salt, but underneath us here, Brendan McCullum is testing out his walkie-talkie, making sure that Ben Duckett, who's on the bench, who is also holding a walkie-talkie and an earpiece, making sure that he gets the messages. So I'm keeping an eye on him.
Smuts again, and Salt gets a short ball which is flogged into the onside. 2 fielders converge upon it, well fielded out there in the deep by Ben Menenti at deep mid-wicket, and that'll be 1 taken. England 5 without loss. He's walking back now as McCullum with his walkie. I think he's happy. He was next Roger. He was next to Jeetan Patel, who's eating a great big bowl of pasta. I don't know if that is in any sort of just part of the deal when you play Italy.
I'm jealous, actually. My tummy's rumbling.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try not to do too many pasta puns today.
Well, you know, in the spirit of things, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know. But as long as you join in.
I'll do my best.
Because I don't want to be kind of lonely. Here is JJ Smuts. You're very generous in laughing. Butler on strike. And just works the ball in front of square. Into the leg side it goes for 1 more. I mean, what will England be thinking about as... they won't talk about a target, but you know, in their mind they'll be thinking this is a good opportunity for a really big score.
Yeah, you want to cause panic in the opposition as early as possible, I think, as an opening pair here.
Smuts again to bowl to Phil Salt, who himself will work the ball easily into the onside, and trotting in is Menenti from that boundary edge. Long sleeves. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on an Italy shirt.
It looks good, doesn't it? It's a classic colour as well, so matching the football blue, isn't it, that they play in?
They are the Azzurri as well, the Italy cricket team. Smuts again, England 7 without loss. As forward comes Butler, another angled shot into the onside. As up there in the Colonel NJ Nair stand, there's a big group of supporters in a small patch of shadow. This ground is not one that provides an awful lot of it. This end of the ground has a roof, the rest of it doesn't. So you've got to take any opportunity you can. Smuts to finish the over. 8 from it thus far. And a short ball flogged into the onside will be very well fielded by Menenti. And so 9 from the over. A boundary to kick things off. And England are up and running, having won the toss, elected to have a bat first. And up against Italy for the very first time. In the sunshine of Kolkata, we've got Salt and Butler opening the batting. Has our friend with the air freshener been in again?
There's a whiff, isn't there?
Yeah, because we had that earlier, and it's. I'm not sure it's great for the nose, and it's not great for the eyes as well. It's quite punchy stuff, whatever it is. So from the far end of the ground, we're going to see Ali Hassan having a bowl.
Well, it looks like a good pitch already, even there, with England skipping down the pitch to a left-arm spinner, trusting the bounce, trusting that it's not going to go zipping past their outside edge as well. So I think Salt and Butler there just respecting the bowling when Smuts dragged his length down and bowled much straighter.
Well, Ali Hassan, based in Brescia, runs in left arm seam, and that's chipped just off a bit of bat and pad from Salt, and will drop towards mid-wicket for the first dot of the innings. 23 years old, moved to Italy at an early age, and again another of these examples of players who, you know, you think of a player called Ali Hassan, you think, well, you know, is he a player that is you know, taken up the opportunity through some circuitous route to play for Italy? But not a bit of it. He's somebody who has learnt his cricket in Italy, playing for Gina Brescia and the Zurich Nomads. He runs in now, and that's hammered away for 6 behind square on the leg side, and it goes bouncing, smacking into one of those sky blue seats below us. Phil Salt got all of that, and England are 15 without loss.
Yeah, left arm over, looking to swing the ball back into Salt, and the first delivery was of good length, so Salt was a bit tucked up for room and the line with the movement back in, but this one was much too short on the left hip of Phil Salt and just helped up round the corner over a vacant fine leg region, and Phil Salt up and running, and there's probably no nicer delivery that he'd have liked to receive to get his boundary count up.
The two fielders in the deeper is a deep backward point and a backward square leg. Hassan to Salt, that's well stopped at cover. Diving away to his right from Marcos Campopiano. Was well struck by Salt, who has a little prod and a poke at the surface.
Must have good memories playing here. Won the IPL for Kolkata, didn't he? With Kolkata, rather.
Well, he's a player who I think is someone enjoys a surface like this, where he can absolutely just fling his hands through it. He likes to just stand and deliver from the off, trust the bounce. I mean, every batter does, but I think for him, as he works the ball in front of square on the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket, the ball seems to be almost picking up pace as it reaches the ropes. Quick outfield, quick runs.
It didn't look like he'd timed that perfectly at all, but as it got past the 30-yard circle, it's like someone had a leaf blower behind it and just pushing it to the boundary, and the fielder at deep backward square leg had no chance. A little bit of shape into the leg stump, but no real pace to worry Phil Salt about him falling over it, and just timing it out towards that boundary. And 4 more runs. It looks like a good pitch, quick outfield, a big score. If England bat well, will be on the cards.
It was like it had gone on the old travelator at the airport, wasn't it?
I don't like the travelators.
No. Here comes Ali Hassan, left arm seam to bowl to Salt, who again targets the leg side, but straight to the fielder at backward square rather. It's picked up by Anthony Mosca, 20 without loss.
Well, because you've just got off a flight, no matter how long it is, but you've been sat in the same position, so you want to get your legs moving, and the travelator limits your ability to do that, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. If you're in a hurry, it's useful.
Yeah, can be.
But I agree. I think you sort of want to get a little bit of life in the legs.
But I like also having a competition with the people who've got on the travelator to try and beat them to the other end without using the travelator. My long legs help.
You can take the man out of professional sport.
I'm too competitive. It's bad.
Final ball of the second over. Ali Hassan is in. Butler will defend. Back up the track. What's a single? Ooh, almost collision between Salt and Butler. The wild throw in the end means that they get back safely enough, but it was a little bit yes, no, maybe from the two England openers. And the score after 2 overs, 12 from that one, 21 without loss.
It would have been a big collision. Butler was herring as soon as it was misfielded by the bowler. Butler wanted the single, and there was definitely a single there, but Salt, in following the ball back to make sure that it didn't go onto the stumps, so tapping his bat back in, then turned to hair towards the striker's end, and Butler was right there in his face, and luckily they both picked the correct way to avoid each other and ended up being safe. But Salt definitely had to get the skates on there to make it to the other end.
Grant Stewart's going to have a bowl. Somebody you mentioned pre-match, Kent Stalwart.
Yeah, and dangerous T20 player. Can swing the new ball. There's no slip in place because of the trueness of this surface. Italy opting to pack in front of the bat to try and limit the scoring opportunities for Phil Salt and Josh Butler, but certainly someone who can take early wickets and can do damage with the bat. But his first introduction into the game is an opportunity.
Italian mother, Grant Stewart. He's been playing for the side since 2021. And he's going to run in from the end of the ground below us, pavilion end, with Butler on 3 from 3 and England 21 without loss. Stewart, 6 on his back, runs in now, and Butler has spooned this in the air. Now, can a fielder get underneath it? Should be taken, and it is. Josh Butler's out. Italy have the wicket of the former England captain, who fails to get a score once again, and a leading edge. It was chipped in the air, and Butler goes 3 from 4. It's 21 for 1.
Well, identical to his dismissal against Brad Curry in the game against Scotland. His hands just coming through the ball a bit too early. That shape away that Grant Stewart can get means, as opposed to it coming through on the line that he anticipates, it's more of a leading edge, bottom edge that just spoons up towards the mid-off fielder, who settles well underneath it. It was a simple catch, but when you've got one off the bat of Josh Butler coming towards you and it's your first opportunity to take an English wicket, there might be a few nerves there. So Butler goes, a poor shot really from him, and continues his disappointing tournament so far for such a fantastic player. He's gone for 3. Italy have their first.
Well, he scored 26 against Nepal, 21 against West Indies, and then 2 scores of 3 from 4 balls now against Scotland and Italy. You could see his reaction. He couldn't believe it. It just gets stuck in the pitch, poor shot.
I think it's just instinctively plays it, but it's the first ball that he'll have faced from Grant Stewart, so doesn't know the pace of the pitch. It wasn't by any means a really bad delivery. It was a bit floaty and full, but Butler would back himself to keep his head over the ball and either drill it straight over the top or hit it hard along the ground, but it was just in between the two, so a bit non-committal. So yeah, he'll reflect on that with disappointment.
It's the left-handed Jacob Bethel, increasing star for England, 22 years old. He's ready to go once again. Coming in early on in England's innings. Got a backward square leg and a deep backward pointer. Stewart comes bustling in and tapped into the onside by the unruffled Bethel.
He never looks ruffled, does he?
No.
It's one of his great qualities, I think, even though the lack of experience that he had before he was exposed to international cricket. Everyone who's watched him, and by all accounts everyone who's been around him in the dressing room when we've interviewed him, he seems calm, articulate, and someone who's made to play international cricket.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stewart to Bethel, who's driving beautifully through the offside for 4. Goodness me, that is a sumptuous shot. What a good piece of timing from Bethel.
That's perfect cover drive. Full floaty from Grant Stewart, looking to get that ball swinging back in towards the left-hander. No, he's not. He's trying to run his fingers across it to find the outside edge, but all it finds is the middle of the bat. But it was floaty, it was full, and Bethel just leans forward, takes a nice stride towards the ball, punches through the line of it, and it flies away for 4. Beautiful shot.
That was a really fine piece of timing. 25 for 1. Midway through the 3rd over of the innings. In comes Stewart, and Bethel plays the ball into the ground. No run there. By the way, a video good luck message from Andrea Bocelli has been sent.
Has it really?
Yeah.
What, and played on a big screen to the team, or just social media?
I don't know. Well, we'll be trying to stick it on our social media, I imagine. England will be hoping it's not time to say goodbye at the end of this game, Finney.
Get me out of here. It's only been 15 minutes.
Here is Bethel coming forward, pushing into the onside. No run. Come on.
I'd join in if I knew any songs that he'd done. So,
well, you know that one.
Well, I don't know the title of it though. Probably if you played it, I'd be able to sing it. But
sounds rather like an invitation to me. No, I will not be singing Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli at this juncture. If Italy win, then maybe. Stewart bowls to Bethel, and that's onto the pads. He'll get a single into the leg side out towards Hassan Ali. And end of the over, just 5 from it and the wicket. And England 26 for 1. They won the toss, they elected to bat first. They know a win will see them through to the Super 8s. And Butler the wicket to a full, and Jos Buttler 3 from 4. He has phases like this in his career. Every batter does, really, but he's also somebody with the experience at 35 to know that it's one good knock to back your way out of it.
Yeah, and it's the nature of opening the batting in T20 cricket, isn't it? You have to take risks. You have to press on with the game, and he's been destructive when he's done that, especially in partnership with Phil Salt at the top of the order. So yeah, no real alarm bells, but he would certainly have liked a bigger score or some sort of score throughout this group stage, just to, no matter how great you are, no matter how experienced you are, when you have that one performance where it just feels like you're in this flow state and the ball's going where you want it to, whether you're a batter or a bowler, it settles your nerves early in the tournament.
Interestingly, Butler averages against associate nations in T20 cricket 23. Bethel will get nothing for that because it goes into the hands, actually, the fielder Kulagamaga at mid-wicket, but he timed it nicely. So 23 average, 23.7 against the associates, and against full member nations, 42.8, weirdly.
So we should just not play him against associates? Yeah. It sounds about right.
It's an unusual tactic. I mean, admittedly, it's a much smaller sample size of 9 innings, but big enough to...
Yeah, big enough, yeah.
Ali bowls to Bethel, gets a little fortunate with that. Massive swing, and it goes off a top edge and goes over the head of the fielder at short third. Justin Mosca, who applauds the effort of the bowler. 1 bounce and 4. And Bethel moves to 9, England 30 for 1.
He can count himself a touch unlucky there, the bowler. Bethel just takes a little step down the pitch towards him, and therefore he drags his length back. And the bounce that we saw in this Kolkata surface the other evening, when Archer and Overton in particular were bowling, was evident there again. And it kicks nicely out the pitch and just flicks the top edge, and no fielder down at deep third, and Bethel gets 4, but fortuitous.
2 outside the circle in the first 6 over. Deep point in a backward square leg as Bethel again comes forward. This time he makes much better connection. Into the leg side it goes. And it will be retrieved just about before the boundary edge as 3 fielders come to converge upon it. Eventually 2 runs taken. And England 32 for 1.
And Bethel, I think, realising here that this is an excellent pitch and wants to make the most. Sometimes you lose an early wicket, you might consolidate for an over or so before then trying to play more expansively, but Bethel recognising that the depth of this batting lineup, Overton at 8, Dawson at 9, means that he can afford to try and make the most of these opening 6 overs.
If you want to get in touch, tms@bbc.co.uk to join the conversation. Hassan Ali bowls to Jacob Bethel, again targeting that leg side, straight to the hands of mid-wicket, and there's no run. He's being ambitious and aggressive, Bethel, marching down the track at every opportunity. A little conversation between he and Phil Salt, who's on 18 off 9. Harry Brook, by the way, has won 8 tosses in a row. It's good going.
He's been practicing.
Yeah. Ali over the wicket, drives now does Bethel into the offside, gets 1 run. Fumbling stop, but an effective enough one. 7 from the over thus far. 33 for 1 with the ball left to the 4th.
Something you do see in tournaments like this, and is evident in these opening stages of the tournament, is the associate members and the lesser known teams. They field so tenaciously, they dive like every single run means everything to them. It's amazing to see them. Sometimes
you actually see quite a lot of injuries as well from teams that you're either cramping up because of the exertion or
Wayne Madsen the other day.
Yeah. Salt is on 18 off 9 as in comes Hassan from the far end of the ground. And Salt with a wafty sort of drive, half an appeal for a caught behind, but I don't think I heard anything, and I don't think that Jean-Pierre Amira was that convinced by it, and indeed I'm not sure we'll be going upstairs. But a loose shot from Salt, 7 from the over, and England 33 for 1 after 4.
Well, Bethel had kind of hogged the strike since he came in as well. Salt faced a lot of the deliveries inside the first 2 overs, then Butler got out, having only faced 4 balls, and then Bethel's pretty much faced every ball since then. So Salt maybe just seeing that ball outside off and losing his rhythm and timing in that period of couple of overs that he hadn't faced the ball. So a bit of a scare for him, as that was a play and a miss, but Bethel back on strike now.
Yep.
Farming the strike in the power play.
If you missed the news earlier, by the way, Steve Smith's been added to the Australian squad as a replacement for Josh Hazlewood. Now you may be thinking, well, that doesn't sound like a like-for-like replacement, but it's not in the 11, it's in the squad, and you can make of your squad what you want to do.
I thought Hazlewood wasn't fit from the very beginning.
Well, they were trying to hope that he would be, and now they've eventually just said, well, he's not going to be, so...
So Mitchell Marsh's testicles okay?
Here comes Bethel. Down the ground it goes, and I've never been happier for 6 runs to have been scored. 39 for 1. Back over the bowler's head. Stewart bowling, Bethel delivering. And I don't know quite where to go with that, Vinny. 39 for 1. What was it? A lacerated
a lovely
testicle?
Shot. Yeah, it was some sort of, unpleasant anyway, and it makes me wince at the thought of it. So let's talk about this glorious shot by Bethel. He's danced down the pitch a couple of times actually, but to the left armour when the ball's moving away from him, it's actually a lot harder to hold your shape and hit the ball. But Grant Stewart moving just slightly in towards Bethel, so therefore into his swinging arc, and he can club it like a driver down the fairway actually, the way he stands and admires that, back over the bowler's head for 6.
Long on has gone out. Bethel drops into the offside, wants a single. That's about Mitchell Marsh's arancinis, and we can carry on. 40 for 1. 2 balls gone in the 5th. As Bethel on 19 off 18. But I think he's okay, Marsh, is the answer to your...
Yeah, because I thought there were a few murmurs that he might be out, and that's why Smith was called up in the first place, because of the Marsh injury.
Well, the word from Cricket Australia that we got earlier on today. I'll bring you the full squad update. ICC regulations stipulate the change has to be submitted and activated at least one day prior to the match, and with Steve being here, along with the uncertainty around Mitch and Stoinis, it made sense that Smith is activated and available for selection. Oh, it's down the leg side, will be signalled wide. It was an attempt to help it on its way to the vacant fine leg boundary from Salt that was missed out upon, but wide is signalled, handing the move to 40 for 1. So the full statement from Cricket Australia, and I love the description. Batsman Steve Smith has been added to Australia's squad for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, filling the final place in the team for injured paceman Josh Hazlewood. Smith brought to Sri Lanka as cover for opener Mitch Marsh, who sustained a testicular injury when struck in training and missed the opening 2 matches as a result. Pulled away, into the leg side it goes. A couple of bounces out towards the fielder at deep backward square. And Krishan Kalagamaga, the pizza chef, fields 43 for 1.
We shouldn't laugh about those injuries,
no.
though. I got hit flush by a paddleboard just before coming here. Someone gave it full big
and they're
smash.
They're not like cricket balls.
They're not like cricket balls, but I wasn't wearing protection.
Yes.
And it still hurts.
Well, there we go. Stewart running into Bolter Salts, who's pummeling that into the leg side, and for 6. Second 6 of the over. This one's gone for 16, and England on the cusp of 50, with Salt moving to 24 from 11.
And that's that shot that makes Phil Salt so difficult to bowl at, because you just cannot afford to miss slightly short to him, especially when you're bowling the pace that Grant Stewart is, and it's around belly button height, and all Phil Salt has to do is swivel, times the ball so nicely up over the fielder at deep backward square leg, and it flies.
It's actually
short.
It's a short boundary, that as well. This pitch used today is quite far over.
We're on pitch 7, aren't we, today?
Yeah, and so it's I only went 62 metres, but it still went quite a long way back. 49 for 1 then, England, with Salt on 24. 2 balls left of the 5th over. Keeper up to the stumps. That tells you a little bit about the pace. Stewart in, Salt drives without perfect timing up towards long on, and Anthony Mosca. You can read a little bit more about the Mosca brothers on the BBC Sport website and app. Well, you'll also find our live text commentary and in-play highlights. And all the details of the tournament that you'd like to see. And I did ask about the Italian heritage on the side. And Anthony Mosca, he patted his tummy and said, well, we all like to eat. 50 for 1. Stewart at the end of his mark, ready to charge in and try once more. Bethel gets a floaty delivery. He tries to clip past mid-wicket, but only finds the hands of the fielder Marcos Campopiano. And there'll be no run. So 5 overs gone. England 50 for 1. Butler, the wicket to have fallen 3 from 4. And I am going to get out of the way, Stephen Finn, because Prakash Wakanka is standing by. As Patricia says on the email, I imagine there were certain balls you were talking about, you were hoping to talk about today, and others you were perhaps not. Trish, you could not be more right. Right, here's Prakash.
Well, it's a lovely opportunity to segue away and talk about this great start that England have got here. 50 for 1 from 5 overs. Salt is flying, and he was flying a few days ago against the West Indies, and then threw it away around this time. I think he had 31 in that inning, so it's an opportunity for him here to knuckle down, hit any loose deliveries, make the most of this brilliant start.
Hassan Ali to continue into his 3rd over now from the high court end, and he's into Salt, bowled, and Salt cracks it off the front foot square of the wicket, not getting all of it, but the little fumble at the edge of the circle allows the 2nd run to be taken. It was there, and We've seen Phil Salt on this ground in KKR colours, really just setting the stadium alight, and he's in that kind of a mood, one feels. 52 for 1 now, England, with this just the start of the 11th over. This could be a big total if England bat through anywhere near their potential.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? And they just have the power all the way down. If they lay the foundation, it can be completely explosive. So it has been a nice start.
5 men in the ring on the offside. Here's Hassan Ali bowls on the leg stump, worked away gently this time by Salt, and before it can be fielded by Anthony Mosca coming off the boundary, a comfortable single. So 53 now for 1. Well, Finney, at the start of the tournament you said two things. You said there will be at least one, if not more, major upset,
and there haven't
some
been.
team will score 300.
Yeah, both not coming to fruition so far.
Well,
I don't think you classify Zimbabwe as I don't think that's a major upset.
No, I mean they're unbeaten against Australia in World Cups. But certainly Afghanistan came fairly close. You wouldn't classify that as a major one either, but a very close game. Here's Hassan Ali now to Bethel. Bethel comes down the wicket, has a swing on the onside. They'll take on the throw from short fine. The fielder misses, and I think Salt would have been in anyway. But just a little bit unlike Bethel. I think he probably lost a bit of shape. He didn't look as aristocratic with the bat as he normally does, looking to sort of flick this through the straightish mid-wicket region. He'll get a run nevertheless. 54 for 1.
Yeah, and the 300 you just felt with the surfaces that we expected. Mumbai hasn't quite played as we anticipated, but here in Kolkata this looks like a really good surface. There's not that much lateral movement. The ball's coming onto the bat, so it feels like this could be the venue.
Here's Hassan Ali in again, bowls, and this one's pulled away. Is it going to go to hand? Oh, what a lovely catch. Fantastic catch in the deep, and I think it's Anthony Mosca there diving forward. He came up, it was a low catch, he kept his eyes on the ball and has taken an absolutely brilliant catch. But the England batters haven't moved, so we have to wait and watch.
Yeah, Salt doesn't think this is carried, but almost certainly from the reaction it has, and to us looking side on to where he took the catch, it certainly looked as though it was at least about ankle high, the back of a length. And the shot that Salt loves to play so much, the short arm jab, he doesn't quite get as much of it because he's slightly cramped for room on his left hip and can only hit it out towards deep backwards square leg. And the fielder charging in from the boundary throws himself forward and takes a brilliant catch running in. And Phil Salt again had a start. I said at the beginning of the over he did very similar against the West Indies, came flying out the blocks, then couldn't make the most of it. The same has happened here, and he has to drag himself off the pitch reluctantly, and just as we're talking about 300, which I don't think actually is on the cards today. I think you have to get an absolutely flying start. Phil Salt has gone. England lose their second.
Yes, the second consecutive time, as you said, Finney, having got off to a really good start. Salt maybe just a little bit cramped, do you think he was, as he played that one? Maybe just got to him a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and I think he probably backs himself to hit that up more, but he hit it quite flat because he was cramped. So yeah, usually he would try and hit up on that and hit it up over the deep square leg fielder's head, but he couldn't do that, and it's a very, very slow walk off for Phil Salt. And I wouldn't want to be in the dressing room when he walks in then now.
Yes, a wicket for one of the younger players in this side, Hassan Ali, 23 years old. This is his 10th T20 international.
Salt, as he was walking into the dressing room, just lobbed his gloves up into the stand as well, and two young fans down there in the Dhoni shirt and the Butler shirts beneath us have grabbed one each.
Oh well. Do you think they'll trade them?
I don't know, but I think Salt's probably thought these gloves are so unlucky, I need to get rid of them, so he just lobbed them into the stands.
Yes. Yes, I wonder if there'll be a little trade there so that one has a pair. 54 for 2 then, as the drinks go off the field now, and fielders walk out to their positions. Hassan Ali with a wicket, and England are 54 for 2. Butler the first to go.
They've got the gloves on in the stand.
And they know the camera's going to pan on them, so they're getting their movement in Indian television history, if you want. Hassan Ali is ready. Tom Banton, after that fantastic effort the other night, is now at the crease, and he'll want to consolidate and carry that vein of form going forward because in many ways the business end is approaching for all the teams, particularly of course the ones that qualify. Banton just doing a little bit of shadow practice. He's more or less there now, the umpire standing in the way of Hassan Ali. Slip in place there, which is an interesting move. John Smuts into that slip position, a man at deep square third, 3 men in the ring, then point, extra cover mid-off, mid-on and straightish mid-wicket with a 45 inside the ring, backed up by Anthony Mosca, where he took that catch to dismiss Phil Salt. I certainly wouldn't have ever imagined being broadcasting in a World Cup game which was cricket and with Italy playing, but that's what the wonderful news is really for those who want to see this great game of ours expand and grow around the world. Hassan Ali into bowl to Banton, and Banton gets an inside edge. It just squeezes between him and the stumps out towards where backward shot leg might have been. They scamper through for a run. Strange things can happen, and Hassan Ali fresh from that wicket brought that one back just a wee bit.
Yeah, still a little bit of movement there, isn't there? The balls, we haven't seen lavish swing throughout this tournament, but certainly here the bit more grass on the pitch, the square isn't particularly dry, so the ball won't get cut up as much as other venues, so may just swing that little bit longer.
Last ball of the 6th over and the power play. Hassan Ali into Bethel, who drives nicely to the wideish mid-on area. They'll take one at the edge of the circle. It's fielded, and that is the power play done. 56 for 2. Not exactly a supersonic start, but a good solid one. The 2 wickets, of course, ideally England would have wanted those, but Butler's poor form continues, and Salt's 30s or thereabouts also continues.
Yeah, he looked good today, Salt, didn't he?
Well, he did.
Timed the ball nicely, and it's just one lapse in concentration, one mis-execution that ends your innings in this format, or every format of the game, but more particularly in this format of the game, where you have to take risks in order to score the entire time. So he loses his wicket, but England do have a little bit of a platform, scoring just over 9 runs and over.
Yeah, 9.33. The power play done, and immediately right arm leg spin in the form of Krishan Kalugamage, born in Marubela in Sri Lanka, and he'll have a job. He'll dearly want to try and make early inroads. The 4 men in the deep now, 2 on the offside, 2 on the on, as you'd expect. Deep cover, long off, wideish long on, and a man at mid wicket. Here's first ball from Krishan, worked away nicely on the onside. Before it can be fielded by Harry Manenti, there is a comfortable single. 57 for 2 now. Kalugamage, like many of the other Italian players, of course, have what one would call conventional professions. Not necessarily too many of them are professionals, though some of them do play in the English County Championship or around the world elsewhere. Here's Kalugamage again in bowls, short of the length, worked away on the onside wristily by Banton for a single. Didn't try and do too much with it, just wants to get a feel of it, I guess. Banton, who's must be feeling good after that last knock.
Yeah, he was under a bit of pressure, wasn't he, after those first 2 games? A few rumblings of discontent in the media and on social media, but he put those to bed with a really good innings against Scotland the other night to get England over the line.
Krishan in again. This is short but flatter, and it's whipped through the onside, fielded near the practice pitches, and a really good throw. Not well directed, but quickly off in the air so that the batters didn't think of the second. 59 for 2. And the last 4 or 5 runs have come in singles. That's what a wicket can do. Bethel on 23 at the non-striker's end. Here's Kalugamage again, bowls good ball, coming back in, nicely played, square of the wicket, just backward of point, and they will come back for the second comfortably. Banton timing and placing that really well, just waited on it a fraction.
And this is what he's in the team to do. His strike rate against spin is up there with the best in the world in franchise T20 cricket over the last few years, around 190. So his ability to move fielders around, and in particular sweep and reverse sweep, which we didn't see him do the other day because of the bounce in the surface. So he'll just be figuring that out today.
Kalogamage in again, and this time it's gone through. I don't know if it's got edge or not, we'll wait, but it's raced away behind the keeper for 4 runs. There's no signal from the umpire other than a boundary, so there wasn't bottom edge, I guess, and virtually impossible, I think, for the keeper to do anything about it. Here's the replay. That should tell us, yes, thick bottom edge falling right at the toes of the keeper. No chance. 4 runs, but the bowler may consider himself just a little bit unlucky. 65 for 2 now. And Gamage bowls again, wicket to wicket. He's chasing the ball himself to make sure there's no second run. Good commitment. 99 is the number on his shirt, and that is the end of the 7th over. When you look at 99, you think of Ravichandran Ashwin, of course. And maybe that's got something to do with Kalogamage picking his shirt number. 66 for 2 at the end of 7. The run rate just pushing towards 9.5. England will want to use this, obviously without being complacent in any way, but they want to use this as a good practice game to get their batters into a good vein of form before the more sterner tests come up. Right, change in bowling at the far end. Benjamin Manenti, who is going to bowl now, 28 years old, playing his 11th T20 international. And on strike will be the right-handed Tom Banton. 66 for 2 in the 10th. Just coming up to the halfway stage. Wideish long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward of square. 3 men on the onside on the boundary. First ball, flat, quick, and just dabbed away on the offside for a quick single.
There was a sign of Banton's innings the other day where you would usually think he'll come in, sweep, reverse sweep, but with the bounce on this surface, he didn't feel as though that was a viable option and opted to hit down the ground and off the front foot and square of the wicket off the back foot to accumulate his runs. And it looks as though he's taking a similar approach here so far, having a little look at the bowlers, figuring out what his plan is, and then we'll execute that. But the sweep doesn't look part of it at the moment.
Field changes over for the left-hander, and this time leaning back to cut, doesn't quite time it. It goes on the bounce. The crowd thinks it's more than just a bit of fielding. It was hit firmly into the ground by Bethel. He's on 23 of 19. Hasn't had a lot of strike just at the moment. Settles, waits for Manenti. He's pulled this one in the air. Is it going to hand? Looks like it is. And Bethel has to depart. He's crestfallen, down on one knee. His bat on his helmet, as he knows he's made a wrong choice. Execution not quite what he wanted, and the ball skews off the top edge down to deep backward square where the catch is taken, and I think is Justin Mosca. So the Mosca brothers in the game the other day with the bat, now with 2 good catches.
Well, it's rapid from Manenti, 100 kilometres an hour, and it just rushes Bethel in his decision making, and it looks like a sweep when he's trying to play it, but the ball is too short to be playing a sweep too, so all he can do is help it up round the corner. And that bounce that we talked about when you're looking to play square of the wicket using a sweep shot, it's really hard to control that, and Bethel falling foul there of indecision. And you could see as soon as it came off the bat, he was just on his knees in the crease, watching, praying that he might drop it, but knowing that he'd made completely the wrong decision there in that moment, and Bethel departs. England 3 down.
That brings the England captain in. Correction on my end, it was Jasprit Singh who took the catch, not Mosca. The Phagwara-born, Punjab-born Jasprit Singh. Phagwara, of course, for those who know the Punjab, will remember a city known more for its hockey players than cricketers. But Jasprit obviously moved early on in his life, and now is in the blue of Italy. So England have lost 3 now, 3 for 67 in the 8th. Not quite the script they might have wanted when they came out to bat. The run rate's healthy, there's no problem there. It's just the wicket column. Now Harry Brook is out there to replace Bethel, and he's just having a look around the field and waits for Manenti, who's been bowling flat and straight and quite quick as through the air as well. Bowls this one's a little bit more air and just eased away towards the wideish long off area for a single for Brook to get off the mark. It's 68 for 3. This has been the nature of England's batting so far in the tournament, isn't it? every batter sort of come out and looked good for a while, and just as you think they're building, often it's the choice of shot, one dare say. Round the wicket now is Manenti to Banton, who's playing it delicately, and a fumble, a poor misfield there by Jaspreet Singh, who'd taken a good catch this time, just misjudging the ball, maybe just spun a bit away from him, but that's 4 runs gifted to England and to Banton. 72 now for 3.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with that because Menente's just building a bit of pressure. It's slightly short and wide outside the off stump, and with the pace, Banton just looks to tap it on its head, Don Bradman style, down towards short third, and a simple piece of fielding's missed and pressure released.
Manenti in again, bowls, and this one's turned away on the onside, only as far as 45. There is no run. That's the end of the 8th over. It's 72 for 3 now, with this over yielding 6, but the wicket of Jacob Bethel in it as well. So Manenti has got 1 for 6 in his first over, and Banton on 14 of 8 balls. The batter's out. Salt for 28 of 15. Butler the first to go. Very similar dismissal to the previous game. Just got 3 or 4 balls. Bethel was looking good as he's looked throughout the tournament. 23 of 20, and now Banton and Brook together. Change alongside me, and it's a very good afternoon to Matt Henry.
Good afternoon, Prakash.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, can't complain. I was just saying to Finney that I wouldn't have dreamt that I'd be broadcasting on an international game, that to a World Cup with Italy, but they've earned their place there, and how wonderful it is to see these teams come out here and compete as well as they have. Start of a fresh over, the first one in fact, from Smuts did bowl earlier in the innings. He's come in and now round the wicket between the umpire and the stump. Old-fashioned left arm spin, pushed away on the offside for a single. 73 for 3. Brook is up to 2, and Banton now waits for Smuts bowls, looped up, driven back quietly along the ground. The two batters just choosing to be a little bit more cautious at the moment.
We saw England do this in the first game of the tournament, didn't they, against Nepal? It was Jacob Bethel and Harry Brook on that occasion. Just knocked it around for a little period at this stage. Both got 50s that day, just to steer away from danger.
Wide of the crease this time. Probably the arm ball fired in, defended in front of his pad by Harry Brook. No run.
I would say steer away from danger, and Nepal very nearly chased that, so you can't be too careful. It proves just you can't be too careful. People say knock it around, but you can't be too careful.
Once again, good ball, worked away on the onside. A single, taking the first run quickly, wanting to put some pressure on the fielder, but Grant Stewart gets there quicker, and off the practice pitch as he whips it back into the gloves of the keeper. 75 for 3 now. Run rate dropping, as inevitably happens when a wicket falls, just a shade over 8.5. Good wicket, as we've been saying, looks with a little bit of bounce, a bit of grass, and once again Smuts bowls, gets a bit of bounce there as it hits Banton a little bit high on the bat. Won't get a run, too short extra. Last ball of the 9th coming up from JJ Smuts, South African. Now, of course, in Italy colours, comes in bowls, and this one's worked away on the onside of the back foot. A good tight over, comes to an end with a single. 76 for 3, and Smuts now has bowled his 2 overs for 13 without taking a wicket. Banton 16, Brook on 3.
It's interesting with Harry Brook because he's been knocked down a position in the order this year in T20 cricket. Is it feeling that he should be higher as one of England's better batters, but they're also a bit short of a finisher in this team, which I sense that's sort of the vibe you get, that he's pushed down because he's taken on that finisher role. We say a finisher role, but I think all 7 T20s he's played this year, he's been inside the first 10 overs, which tells you something about the sort of just struggles for a platform or just consistency at the top of the order that England have been able to have. They've always been losing wickets. They've had good results this year, so it's not been to their detriment, but he's not quite playing the role he wants to.
Kalogamage, the leggy, starts another over. This one's been hit off the back foot by Banton in front of point, and they'll take 1. A shorter boundary away to our right as we look out onto the playing arena. This is a strip that has a longer boundary to the onside because it's pitch number 7. So it sort of does make the offside boundary right now for Brook a little bit shorter. Kalugamage bowls, and this one's cut away. This time Jasprit once again not quite fielding it cleanly, but making sure he's got his left leg in place to make sure that the ball doesn't squeeze through as it did on the previous occasion. 2 men backward of point on the offside in the ring and 1 on the onside, as you almost always see. Kalugamage bowls again, and this one's fuller, driven out towards long on. Not in anger, just a single. 78 for 3. Quiet phase of the game. As you said, Matt, just maybe looking to put a little bit of circumspection into their batting for just a little bit, so they get a feel for it. Brook waits. Kalugamage bowls, and this time he gets back and drives off the back foot beautifully. Once he'd beaten the short extra that was racing away to the extra cover boundary, as it does. So a welcome boundary for England, and it's 82 now for 3 in the 10th over.
Lovely from Banton. He's picked the length of the leg spinner quickly there, and it's what makes him so good at playing spin. He picks the length, gets on the back foot, and then picks the gap just to the right of the left of the fielder at cover.
Kalugamage bowls, and he beats him with one that just spins away. A polite question from the keeper. I don't think the bowler or the umpire were much interested, but if there were moral victories and points for that, Kalugamage could claim 1 just of that delivery. Just a little bit tentative there, Banton. Tall man swivels the bat and now settles into a comfortable looking stance. Bat raised, waits for Kalugamage, bowls, leans forward. Good ball again from Krishan Kalugamage. Pushed away quietly, not for runs. And that's the 10 overs bowled, halfway stage of the England innings. England at 82 for 3, maybe a little bit below what they would have thought they could get, but importantly, Brook and Banton doing a bit of rebuilding, with Banton on 21, Brook on 4. More from you, Matt, and it's the other Henry Moran, ready to come into commentary.
I was having a look back at the stats a few moments ago of Italy's highest chase in T20s. They haven't had much experience of it. Successful chases in the 150s, 157 I think it was, that sort of region. They haven't had much chance and much opportunities to better that, but yeah, that's the sort of thing England are up against.
Smuts bowling and smack down the ground from Brook. That'll be 4. That was savage, actually. That was a brutal shot from the England captain, who has, I'm not sure if you mentioned this on air, but in all the time he's been batting at number 5.
Yeah,
you've mentioned that
in the first 10 overs again. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go back in my box. England 86 for 3. Early on in the 11th over, Smuts is in again, round the wicket, left arm spin. That's dropped short, hacked into the leg side. Fielder running round, won't get there. 6. Short boundary and short work made of the delivery from Harry Brook. England 92 for 3.
Yeah, Brook's not really got hold of that, I sense, because it's, as you say, Henry, a short boundary. It's not cleared the 2 fielders out there by much. Brook looked a little nervy for a moment or two, not come right out the middle, but enough on it, and a little bit of a press on the accelerator here from England.
Just a little tickle. 92 for 3. Brook gets one outside the off stump. Oh, he's been caught behind. Chasing a wide delivery, and Harry Brook goes. The England captain out for 14. England are 92 for 4. And Italy are celebrating together in a blue huddle as the Italian flags to our left fly.
Sums it up, doesn't it? 2 good shots and then out. That's been a problem for England throughout this tournament, that they're just not able to really keep the momentum with them when they need to. The ball is there to hit it short and wide from Smuts to Brook. He's possibly trying to hit it a little too straight. Could he have been aiming? I think he's aiming somewhere towards mid-off. It's really wide. Should he have been aiming through backward point, possibly?
Probably would have been wide, actually.
I think it would have been, yeah. It's a very wide ball. You can't blame him for chasing it. It's just execution.
Not a good shot, that, from Brook. And England 92 for 4. It's again not been convincing, this, from England.
Yeah, we're waiting. We're thinking. Harry Brook spoke about it the other day in the press conference. We're sort of waiting for something to click. We asked him in that press conference, why isn't it clicking? He sort of said, I don't know, which was a little bit concerning. That the captain didn't seem to have any theories, and they're just sort of hoping that it will click, but yet to happen, and it is a concern for today and for the World Cup going forward, if there is to be some tournament cricket left for England here.
Well, a reminder, if they win this game, and they should, we keep saying that, it's no guarantee, nothing is in international sport, but they will qualify for the Super 8 phase. Beyond that, well, goodness knows. I mean, there's not been that sort of performance from England where you think, okay, they are real contenders in the way that we've seen from other sides. Smuts strikes. Sam Curran comes to the middle. I saw Sam Curran early on this morning walking to the coffee shop. He is always surprisingly diminutive, I always think, Curran. He crouches now at the crease, the left-hander. As over the wicket comes Smuts, and forward in defence comes Curran, just pushing back towards the bowler.
Handy period for Italy this, because the left arm ball to the left-handed batter should be in England's favour, but Curran, with the score as it is just a little tentative.
Gets a wider delivery that'll easily pick up a single two. Outside the off stump it goes, and clattered away for one. So 93 for 4 with the ball left of the over. Banton is on 21 off 15, 3 fours so far. Brook could hit a 4 and a 6, caught behind in this over, chasing a wide delivery. Banton waits, crouching at the crease, and will come forward, looking for a run down the ground that he won't find. Fielded by Smuts, who takes his cap from the umpire. 11 gone, England 93 for 4, having won the toss and elected to bat first. Far from perfect so far against Italy. And a little stat on Harry Brook and his dismissals against spin. 24 of his 51 T20 innings, he's been dismissed turning balls, average of just 19.2, and faces an average just 15 deliveries per dismissal against spin, which is, again, we speak about England's vulnerability against slow bowling, and it really is coming to the fore, so I shouldn't be that surprised seeing what we've seen in the tournament. 9 overs left for England to get a total that will be too much for Italy. It's Curran waiting for Ben Menenti in his off-spin. Push back towards him, no run. 6 from Menenti's first over and a wicket.
The thing with Brook is he hit that brilliant 100 in Sri Lanka, didn't he, in the ODI series, but he's not been able to translate that into...
That'll be 1 into the leg side. Just dropped a sort of yard or so towards the edge of the circle. It sort of ends up, it's a very gentle tap. Go on.
Yeah, he's just not been able to translate that into T20 cricket, has he? We saw when England were in India the start of last year for white ball tours, he struggled then as well in white ball cricket against Varun Chakravarti and the other Indian spinners. England got battered in that series.
Banton's on 21 off 16. He gets a quicker ball this time from Ben Menenti that he'll work up to long on for 1. Off the back foot, England 95 for 4. Email from John Flynn in the east end of the metropolis. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced by Harry Brook. He always seems to throw it away. He's underachieving. And if England lose, will they be out?
Not mathematically, but it would be, they'd need results to go their way, and they're not necessarily the results you'd want to have to go your way.
Curran thinks about winding up in the end, just pats the ball towards short cover, no run. Just 2 from the over so far with 2 balls left of it. England 95 for 4 in the 12th. Up against Italy for the first time. Curran waiting, dabbing into the offside. Just a little squarer this time, and he will get a run. So Banton will be on strike for the final ball of the over.
Just wonder what Scotland made 152 all out. England bowled Scotland out for 152 on this pitch the other day. England chased that with with time to spare, 10 balls to spare, so clearly a score in excess of that was probably par that day.
Well, here comes Menenti to conclude the over, and Banton, who's looked in good touch again today after that excellent 63 the other night. He moves to 23, and after 12 overs England are 97 for 4. Martin Leeburn emails tms@bbc.co.uk. Genoa, the Italian Serie A football team, also has a cricket club. There you go. That's good fun, isn't it? Genoa Cricket and Football Club. Well, I'm going to have to read up a little bit more about that. That Thank you for the email. Aaron also on the email. Thank you for joining the conversation. Bless you, Stephen. England will need to go at 12 and over to get towards 200 here, which looked... Well, I always thought it was dangerous talking about, oh, can they get 300? Just get runs on the board. And here comes down the track Tom Banton. Well, there's not just runs on the board, it's 6 of them, and it goes a long way back. Massive blow from Banton over long on. He plays spin so well, and Kula Gamaga, a pizza maker by trade. Well, there was no slice on that, it was full. It was a meaty feast from the batter Banton.
Very good. 2 puns in one sentence, Henry. Very good. Yeah, it's a lovely shot from Banton, and similar to the shots he played the other night against Scotland. He's playing straight. He's not getting out his sweeps and his reverse sweeps. He's just getting towards the pitch of the ball and whacking it straight, and the ball has come back. Someone down there behind us has gone running away looking for it. The same ball has come back, and the umpire's taken a look at it. But yeah, good shot from Banton and sensible batting, playing straight on a pitch that we saw the other day offer plenty of bounce. Probably not quite as much today, but it's still a threat. He's keeping on playing the way he did the other day. It's a good effect so far.
95 metres that went. 100 up for England, 103 for 4. Long on and long off are out. There's a deep cover and a backward square leg. As with 99 on his back, Kula Gamaga comes in once again. And Banton this time goes through the offside. Work to do for the man at deep cover. It's well fielded and it'll just be the one run. And 104 for 4. James emails. Listening to the commentary in the office to brighten up my Monday morning. The boss is sat opposite me listening too. Lovely to be with you both. And Dorset. What do you do, James? England will win today, but I fear for us in the Super 8 against stronger opposition. It feels like our batters have a mentality of someone else can do it and throw their wickets away rather than taking responsibility. Oh, that almost goes right on through, and I wonder if there was an edge on that from Curran, because the reaction from the keeper who missed it is one of frustration. I heard possibly 2 noises.
I thought I heard something, but it is given as buys. It might have just been the clip of the gloves on the way through rather than the edge. Clip of the wicket keeper's gloves.
Yeah, it
crucial
was.
Bit there. Yeah.
Indeed. Here comes Kula Gamaga again, and into the leg side it goes. Could be a chance of a catch, and it is. Banton has picked out the man at deep mid-wicket. England are 5 down. And Tom Banton, like so many before him, gets a start and gets out and picks up that man in the deep so easily. 105 for 5.
You can see it in the Italian celebrations. They are really starting to believe. Banton's frustrated. He's disappointed at himself. Again, the ball was there to do something aggressive with, and Banton's just picked out deep mid-wicket. It's short. Probably hurried him a little bit, but he's back there, he's ready to hit it, and he's just watched the ball. You can see on the replay, Banton's just watching the ball, hoping that it'll dip and get below the fielder, but it doesn't. It carries, it's hit straight to the man at deep mid-wicket. Another soft dismissal. Problems for England.
Well, there's 7.2 overs left. Banton goes for 30, follows others who have got starts in Salt's 28, Bethel's 23, Banton's 30, Brooks 14. Players getting starts, but getting out now.
Yeah, and the email was that James made it's a good assessment from him. It just feels like batters leaving it for someone else, not being the one to really take it on. Banton did that well the other night in a chase, but again batting first, a bit like it happened against Nepal, England. Just don't have someone or a partnership, whether it's on your own or together with someone else, to really drive home the advantage when you get yourself in and build a really convincing score.
So England 105 for 5. Will Jacks joins the action. Nick emails telling us off for the pizza and pasta jokes. He says it's patronising and unfunny. Sorry, Nick. Must do better. Kula Gamaga to Will Jacks, who angles the ball away nicely out towards the square boundary on the offside for a couple of runs. I think the point made by James in Dorset is that England probably will win today. I mean, it's not unthinkable they don't, but it's just the fact that players don't seem to be able to take responsibility to get the big scores and stick around. Kula Gamaga bowling to Will Jacks, looking to angle the ball into the offside. Can't find a run. And we're going to be hearing from Stephen Finn for his thoughts in just a moment. 13 overs gone and England 107 for 5. With Curran there on 3 from 7, Jacks 2 from 2. 10 off the over, but the wicket in there as well. And Stephen Finn sits down alongside me. What have you made of what we've seen?
Well, it's a bit concerning, isn't it? I think the points that you guys have just raised, the fact that no one seems able to just go on at the moment. Banton did the other night and grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, but you need 2-3 players to do that in order to build a T20 innings around. So it's disappointing that England can't find that at the moment.
Ben Menenti bowling to Sam Curran, who doesn't quite time it, looking to drive down the ground. I mean, what do you put that down to? Because the point that James makes is that England almost have such batting depth that it's almost sort of, well, someone else will do it mentality. A little bit quicker this time. Curran flashes the ball into the onside for 1. They'll turn for another run, and eventually a fumble will allow them through for it. It's 109 for 5.
Well, it's doing it against spin as well, isn't it? Which, when you're playing a World Cup in India, is a concern if in 4 games you've faltered against spin in almost every game. So against players where you will be facing better bowlers in the next round.
Menenti round the wicket, bowls to Curran, who hacks at that, doesn't time it, but will get 1 into the offside. Jacks calls him through. 110 for 5.
And in this situation, even though it looked like a belter when the seamers were bowling on it, you just wonder whether it is just a bit more stoppy and not as true since the spins come on. So we'll build a better picture of that in the second half of the game, but certainly you need to problem solve out there and figure out what are the hard shots to play. And a lot of players caught playing across the line, trying to hit hard towards the leg side in this innings so far.
Ben Menenti, far end of the ground, walking in around the wicket with his off spin, and Jacks will tap into the onside as the floodlights flicker on for the first time today. Throw will come into the keeper's end, and there was just a little bit of a hurry on required for Jacks. He does get back for the second. And it's one of those where there was just a moment where it looked a little awkward. Harry in London enjoying the coverage, as well as Genoa. AC Milan originally founded as AC Milan Football and Cricket Club. Lots of big clubs in South America the same. Whipped into the leg side, not given everything. Had it been that long boundary, might have seen Harry Menenti into play for Will Jacks, looking to try and target that leg side. England 113 for 5. Can recommend the book Avita Burned Down Our Pavilion, says Harry. That sounds intriguing. In comes the next delivery to Curran, tapped into the onside. 1 will be taken. Gentle from England at the moment, 7 from the over, 114 for 5, and it sort of has to be because they've got themselves in a bit of a sticky spot.
Yeah, and they know there's seam to come, isn't there? Italy have only used 5 bowlers so far, and there's 1 over of left arm spin from Smuts. Kaluga Magay has 1 over left, and Menenti 1 over left, so 3 overs of spin and then 3 overs of seam, and it'll be those 3 overs of seam that England will look to target quite heavily towards the back end.
Well, Sarah Cartledge is worried. Finney on the email. What do you mean they've not been convincing yet? Referring to this match, haven't been convincing in the World Cup. Likes of India and Australia will be delighted at our sloppiness. They'll be laughing their socks off.
I'm not sure Australia will, given
they lost to Zimbabwe.
lost to Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Big game for them later on today, by the way, against Sri Lanka. 1:30 start on Test Match Special, 5 Sports Extra. Few exceptions, of course, says Sarah, but we are so not convincing. Oh, and now Banton's gone. What a joke we are. I fear for us in the next stage, that's for sure. Regards, Sarah.
Well, people are fully invested, aren't they, in the England team in this World Cup, and yeah, it's not been plain or smooth sailing so far throughout this group stage. But quite frequently, the teams that win World Cups don't have smooth passages to the final. India, just think of India in that 2023 World Cup. They swept aside everyone before them throughout the group stage, almost, wasn't it? Throughout the knockout stages. Then they get to the final, they're put under pressure and they falter. So if there's any hope that we can take from England being tested throughout this group stage, is that you want to try and get those games out the way early on and come through them unscathed, and England will be planning to do that for this game here against Italy, but certainly they need to sharpen up if they do make it through to those Super 8s to challenge the better teams.
Well, I think the worry for England is just a little bit of a sense that they're unable to seem to pinpoint what the problem is, and quite understand why players aren't able to go on and make big scores. And it's very easy, I suppose, for us to sit on the sideline and say, well, you know, you're talented enough, why aren't you doing it? But actually, these things aren't straight. They're not trying to get out, they're not trying to fail to take responsibility, all of those things. But, you know, you've got, in theory, somebody in Brendan McCullum who's the best in the world at allowing players to flourish and play their own game, but it almost feels at times that England are getting completely muddled.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think T20 is more nuanced than that. It can be more complicated. Yeah, for all the criticism of the coaching through the Ashes and stuff like that, yeah, I don't know how to react to that statement. I wouldn't jump on it personally.
No. Right then, we're going to see Jasprit into the attack. So a bit of seam for the first time. Jasprit will come bounding in, and it's onto the pads of Curran, who'll want two into the leg side if he can possibly get them. No, says Will Jack, so I think probably fancies a bit of Jasprit's bowling, having seen the first delivery.
Well, it'd be a brave option, won't it? 14 overs in, England 5 down. Maybe good captaincy by Italy here to say, OK, do you want to take a risk against our seamer now, knowing that if they do get England 6-7 down, it makes that back end of the innings far easier. But England will know that the seam is probably easier to hit than the spin. So choices for Will Jacks here.
Jacks, well, he's resisting the urge to do anything too aggressive, instead just nudges into the onside for one. That actually becomes two. It's good running. 117 for 5. Jasprit Singh, who moved to Italy at the age of 10, funded his cricket career actually working as a taxi driver in England, and then has played on the Italian circuit, making a debut against Norway in 2019. Plays his cricket in the Birmingham and District Premier League, and also for Bergamo in Italy. Runs in now, right arm over, and Jacks will flash the ball past the fielder at short third for a boundary, and it's been 13 balls since we've seen one. But England do find 4 runs, with the score moving to 121 for 5.
Well, Jasprit started the over with an off-cutter slow ball to Curran, then a leg cutter slow ball to Jacks. This one was pace on, 20 kilometres an hour faster than the previous deliveries, and Jacks, all he has to do is just get a little bottom edge on it, flies away between the fielders at backward point and short third, and will be grateful for those 4 runs.
Jasprit bowls, and Jacks was just advancing forward. There was a shuffle of the shoulders that told me he was thinking of something violent. Instead, one down the ground to long on. Isaac, 11-year-old listener. Isaac, lovely to have you with us. Make your point about how poor the England batting's been. Not being able to stay around and score represents not being worthy of the Super 8s. Batting depth is rubbish when you're putting the opposition on a fielding drill. You should be doing a hard job, Isaac.
The harsh taskmaster, Isaac.
Jasprit runs in to Curran, angles the ball down the ground. 1 run taken, 123. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Jeremy says he thinks that the central contracted players aren't hungry enough for their place. They've become complacent.
I think they're easy buzzwords to throw around when you've had a couple of tight games.
Jasprit runs in, and a mistimed drive from Jacks will bring 1 down the ground with 11 from the over, or 10 rather. The score 124 for 5. 5 overs remain. What would you anticipate as a realistic total from here? I'll leave you with that thought, and you'll be joined in just a second by Prakash Wakanka.
Well, I think a realistic total, 10 and over, gets you to 175. That would be the absolute minimum that England would want from here to put Italy under pressure. But if you do manage to calm the nerves for the next couple of overs, it means those last 3 can be really explosive. The seam will come back into play. and England will look to take advantage of that. So 175 is an absolute minimum. That's 51 off these last 5 overs, and if they can get that towards 190, then they'll be very happy.
Menenti to continue. Punted up the ground, down towards wideish long on for a single. 125 for 5. This partnership's now put on 20 of 15. Jax is on 14 of 9. Curran is 9 of 13. And Menenti into his final over. Has bowled quite well indeed, one has to say. He's just given away 18 runs and has 1 wicket to his name from the high court end as the shadows lengthen away to our left. He's in, he bowls, flashed away in the air but safe down towards the squarish third area. They'll pick up 1 and Curran will move on to 11. Not quite in control of that, but managing to put it where there was no fielder, sufficiently left of the man at backward point inside the ring. Here's Menenti, gets through his overs fairly quickly, bowling round the wicket to the left-handed Curran. He's in, he bowls, and Curran this time drives on the onside down towards long on. A single is all he'll get. Seem to have just decided for the moment that they're holding back a little.
Yeah, just trying to be selective, I think. If they see a ball that's there that they can wallop for 6, I think they'll try, but if it's not, it's about not trying to manufacture anything. Respect the bowling. Menenti's bowled very well, really quick off spin. It's not really spinning that much, but it's very fast and driven into the surface and hard to hit.
Yeah, average speed around 100. This one slapped away on the offside. This could beat the fielder. Yes, it does. He made the ground, running around, and unfortunately, I think it's Krishna there, not able to get his body into the right position to pull it back. So what might have just been 1 or maybe 2 does get them 4, does England. 132 now for 5, and Jax up to 18. He hit that really well. Menenti in again, bowls. And this time he's gone big and he's gone clear of the field, bisecting the 2 men in the deep to finish the over with 4 and 6. So England get a bit of momentum. And it's 138 for 5 with 1 ball to come. So what was looking like a very good spell of bowling, 17 of his first 3 is now 31.
Yeah, and that's that selectiveness. This one's looped up out the hand by Menenti, and Jax latches onto it full of a length.
Last ball of the over ball. This is a full toss and it's been hammered away for 6 more. So suddenly the pressure's gone and England have added 14 of the last 3 balls of the 16th over to get their total up to 144 for 5, and Jax has moved up to 30 of 12. Bit of lapse in concentration maybe for the bowler, but 20 runs coming off it, the best over of the innings from an England point of view.
Yeah, well, you could see he was visibly frustrated with the fielding by the misfield at deep cover off that 4th ball, and he never really regained his composure, looped up a nice floaty one to Jax to wallop over the deep, wide, long on fielder, and then I think trying to get out of the over with a fast Yorker, maybe being greedy, going for the stumps with one that slips under the bat of Jax, offers up a waist-high full toss, and Jax is never ever going to miss out on walloping that even towards the bigger boundary. So England will be feeling much, much better following that sequence of 3 deliveries. 144 for 5, 4 overs to go. That 180, 190 is looking very realistic now.
Indeed. Krishna back into the attack, so just that 1 over for Jasprit. And during my break I was lucky to sample some jhalmuri, which is a very, very well-known street snack here in this part of the world. In fact, this part of the country, including Bangladesh, as Krishna starts a fresh over. Kalamoga, and he's lofted this one. This is sailing back into the stands over deep mid-wicket. So Curran takes a leaf out of Jack's book, and the England charge is now on. 6 more, the 150 comes up with that, and it's 150 for 5.
Good batting by Curran, recognising the leg spinner. He's going to be drifting it in. He can't really bowl that much quicker like Menenti when he's been really effective, has really fired it in. And the first ball of the over, after having had those sequence of 3 at the back end of the last, leaves Italy under serious pressure here as Curran and Jax are used to the pace of the pitch. We know Sam Curran likes taking bowlers down in this situation. They'll be trying to do the same here.
45 of 21 this partnership now, invaluable for England. Kalamoge bowled, and this one's driven up towards long off. Good bit of fielding there in the end from Grant Stewart. Prevents the second and of course the boundary. So just regaining his balance. Good effort. It's right below us. 151 for 5.
He actually overran that a bit and ended up stopping it one-handed. He's got very lucky that didn't go for 4.
Right, the field just making a few adjustments as the Italian skipper. And the deep field 3 on the onside and 2 on the off. As you would expect, the shorter side, remember, is the onside now to Will Jacks, who's facing Kalamoge wide outside the off stump and will be called that. So 1 more to the total, and the ball will have to be bowled again. Kalamoge 1 for 33 at the back end. England will want to power on from here on. 9.3 at the run rate now, and this one slapped off the back foot, but the fielder at deep cover will make sure they're just a single. 152 for 5.
Yeah, the atmosphere's changed, hasn't it, with those 4 deliveries.
It's amazing, this game, isn't it? Half and over, and it just changes where the momentum is. And the crowd now, again, one has to say, on a working day, afternoon, certainly Kolkata's cricket-loving public doing their reputation no harm. He bowled. This one's been lofted and he's got enough on it to come down just below us and to the left. Just to the left of the side screen for 6 more for Sam Curran. 159 for 5.
Well, anything that's looped up here by the bowler is going to be deposited or attempted to be deposited back in the stands, and he goes up out of the hand and full of a length outside off stump. It's almost exactly where Sam Curran would want a ball to hit back down the ground for 6, and Italy under pressure here. 88 metres, that 6, a good lusty blow.
Yep, and the 50 of the partnership comes up in quick time, just off 25 balls. This one shot and taken. Sometimes a change attempted here by Kalamoge, just pushing that one flat and quicker through the offside, driven by Sam Curran. Got a good piece of it, but straight to the man at extra cover. Didn't have to move an inch, and that is the 6th England wicket to fall. 159 now for 6, with 1 ball of the 17th to come.
Well, he slapped that really hard, but it was quick and short and wide outside the off stump, and surprised Sam Curran. He threw his hands through the ball and timed it nicely, but the extra cover fielder diving forward takes a really nice catch. Italy make the breakthrough, but maybe just a touch late in that partnership.
Very good.
They've managed to get the run rate up towards 10 and over. Curran had done his job there and just looking to break himself free and take England towards an unassailable or an unchaseable target for Italy. But he loses his wicket, and it's an opportunity to realign for the Italians.
Another very good catch by Italy. There have been a couple of missed fields on the ground, but another very good catch, this time by Smuts. It was low, it was sharp, and it was coming straight at him, or maybe just a little bit to the left. Sprawling on his side, held on to it comfortably in the end. So that brings Overton to the crease. 159 for 6 now. And as I said, 1 ball of the 17th to come. Krishna Kalamoge now with 2 wickets in his bag, and this one's eased away by Overton. He will retain the strike with that single. 17 gone, 160 for 6, and it was not so long back, in fact just about over and a half ago, that England were probably looking for that little boost of run scoring, which came as a result of the last 3 balls of Manenti's spell. And after that they've really gone for it. Look at the scorecard again. Salt 28, Butler 3, Bethel 23, Banton 30, Brook 14, Curran 25. Jacques now doing what he did at the Wankhede once again at the back end of the innings, really providing both the runs and the stability.
Yeah, and he loves playing against seam. It looks as though we're going to get Grant Stewart for 2, so he's going to bowl the 18th and the 20th, and then between that will probably be Hassan from the end underneath us. So 3 overs of seam. Overton isn't as good against spin as he is against seam, so he's come in at a nice time to be able to start his innings. So things are lining for England here. What Italy have to think is just wickets. Dawson's next, then you're down to the bowlers who can still bat, but it's a far better proposition than bowling to Overton and Jacks at this stage of the game.
Yep, the big imposing figure of Jamie Overton, surveying the changes being made to the field. And give that to you in a moment. There's a mid-offs in the ring, so that shot is on if the ball is in the slot there for Overton. Stewart bowls, and it's driven out towards wideish mid-on for a single by Overton. I'll bring Jacks on strike. Field changing just a little bit for Will Jacks. Man at short third. Deep backward point on the fence. Point. Extra cover on the fence, and mid-off wideish in the ring on the offside. Short fine. Man at deep backward square. Deep mid-wicket and wideish long on. So acres of space on the onside in front of the batter. And of course the other spot that looks vacant and could result in runs is over the mid-off fielder who is inside the ring. Where does Grant Stewart bowl this one? He's in, he bowls, and targeting the stumps, the toes of the batter, driven away on the onside, almost a replica. Manenti Fields, one more to the total, 162 for 6.
Nice from Stewart. Jacks is just giving himself room outside leg stump because he wants to free his hands up through the offside. We saw him be so devastating earlier in the tournament against Nepal in particular, hitting up and over extra. So Stewart just following him, going towards his toes, not giving him any room to thrash that ball through the covers.
15 runs coming, 15 and over in the last 3 overs. This one's wide, signalled by the umpire, aiming to just keep it out of Jamie Overton's hitting arc there, maybe just straying a little bit further away, and the resultant wide. 163 for 6. So between overs 15 and 17, which in this new sort of promotional format, if you will, is called the accelerate phase. England's certainly accelerating, 15 runs and over averaging in those 3 overs. There's Stewart bowls, and this one's got the outside edge in the air, past Jasprit, who doesn't even move. It races down to the third boundary for 4 runs. So 167 for 6.
He can count himself a bit unlucky there, Grant Stewart. He knows that Jamie Overton likes the ball on or around the stumps to be able to wallop it towards the leg side, so he's trying to keep it out of that swinging arc, as you mentioned, Prakash. Just the ball before, and it was an almost perfect Yorker outside off stump, and Overton just a little thick outside edge up over that short third fielder, who's almost at a 5th slip. I'm not sure why he's not back on the ring. He should be on the ring there. That's silly.
I mean, not that, and now he's being told to go back, Jasprit, but that should be his own thinking.
Yeah.
But that maybe is a result of playing more cricket, more awareness. Grant bowls, looking for the Yorker and bowling it well. Dug out for a single by Jamie Overton. That was a good ball, that.
Yep, excellent. Excellent. Right on the money, angled in towards leg stump. Overton just jabs it into the onside and gets a single.
168 for 6. 2 overs to come after this one. So 14 balls to be bowled, 14 legal deliveries. England will ideally want to get that magical 200 if they can. And Stewart, with 2 balls remaining in his 3rd over, is in now to bowl to Will Jacks, who's on 32 off 14, striking a little over 200. Bowls, and once again in the block hole. The batters will come back for 2, because as I said, there was acres of space on the onside in front, and it's the longer side of the boundary as well. Fielder racing in from the deep, but can't prevent the 2nd run from being scored. That was Marcus Campipiano who was running in from the deep. So 2 more to the total. 170 comes up for England. Last ball of the over. Again, Jasprit Singh being moved a little bit finer by Grant Stewart. A little pause as Jacks surveys the field and settles over his bat now, and Stewart in from the high court end past the umpire, up bowls, and he's slashed this one wide of long off, in the air but very safe, and that's 4 more runs. So another very good over for England, 14 coming off it, and as you said, Finney, seam is travelling.
Yep, and it felt like it was always going to. What Italy had to do was try and take those wickets so that they're bowling against the lower order, but England's hitters just keep coming. Will Jacks batting at 7, who is usually an opening batter in this format of the game, is so good at making the most of batting against seam. And he did a really good job of it earlier in this tournament as well, and 38 from 16. He's putting England in a very good position in this game. The 175 that we mentioned at the 15 over mark, well, they've almost reached that now, 174 for 6, with still 12 deliveries to go, and I think the 200 is on.
I think from here on in, 15 and over gets them past 200. That's what they'll target ideally. And Menenti having a longish conversation with Hassan Ali, who will complete his quota after this over. He's gone for 24. He's picked up 1 wicket, the left arm quick, and he's going to bowl to Jamie Overton. 3 men in the ring on the offside, 1 solitary figure on the onside. Hassan Ali bowls, good looking ball, that nice and full, angled across the right-hander, and unable to get bat on it is Overton.
Yeah, good Yorker. It's all about the length and executing that length at this stage of the game. Haven't seen too many slower balls, which is a surprise given the spin was effective through the middle. You'd think the odd slower ball. Don't let these batters get used to the same pace delivery, be a bit unpredictable.
Lots of hand waving at the moment on the park there from multiple Italian fielders, and the result is that deep backward squares come into the ring. Hassan Ali bowls, and this one's hammered. This is a right over mid-wicket, about 11 rows back, and almost picks out a police officer who's sitting on the chairs to move very quickly to avoid getting hit. But 6 runs to England. Terrific shot that from Jamie Overton, just powers it over mid-wicket. It was in there for it to be hit, sat up nicely, and 180 now on the board.
I'd describe that as clubbed. He's clubbed that, hasn't he? It's not elegant, it's not graceful, but if you bowl it around waist high and offer Jamie Overton the opportunity to club it over deep mid-wicket, he's going to take him.
Yeah, 126 was the speed of that one, so not express at all. This one's nice and full. It's again slashed, slammed, slapped, pick your word, down towards long off for a single. And 181 now for 6. Overton's up to 14, also striking at 200. Jacques is well ahead of 200 already. 237 is his strike rate. He's got 38 of 16, and this partnership now 22 of 11. So while England have lost wickets after batters have got set, they've kept the tempo going, particularly after that 16th over when 14 runs came off the last 3 balls. 181 for 6 now. Group C game here at Kolkata. Must win for England, but they look well on course. Wide, this will be called wide. Going for that wide line there. Hassan Ali just losing control, and that's not helping Italy's cause. 182 for 6 now. Wickets for England falling at 21, 54, 67, 92, 105, and then 159, which was that partnership between Curran and Will Jacques. This partnership already worth 23. Hassan Ali in again, bowls, and this time outside edge, and the man at short third there just making sure he gets his body behind it. I think it's ensuring that there's no run more than the single, which was of course always on. That's John Smuts there. 9 off the over already. 2 balls to come. Can Hassan Ali get out of this over without serious damage being caused? Certainly will be the exact opposite thought in Jamie Overton's mind as he waits, takes a step down the wicket and slashes outside the off stump. Again a wide. So pressure on Hassan Ali, and the power, the firepower that is represented by Jamie Overton and Will Jacques, just making the bowler try a bit too much, and twice now he's just gone too wide, and that's been extras, and the ball being bowled again. 10 runs of the over then. Hassan Ali 30 on his back, runs away, bowls, and yet again this is becoming a really long over for Hassan Ali, and now the keeper running all the way back to the bowler. Will have a word with him, try and just calm him, give him a bit of advice maybe, pat on the back. And Overton has 2 more cracks. 7 ball over already, and we've seen 3 wides in it so far. Hassan Ali over the wicket, left arm bowls, and this one's a better ball, nice and full, and pushed away on the onside for a single.
Yeah, good. I really don't mind him missing that wide line like that. He's trying to keep it out the swinging arc. He's only missing by 6 inches or so. If you land one on a length on the stumps, then Overton is going to wallop it. He just adjusted his line slightly there, angled more in towards off stump, but the length was perfect, so good execution.
Last ball off the over, Hassan Ali in bowls, and this one again slapped away firmly for a single before it is fielded right below us by Harry Manenti. That's the end of expensive over, again 13 off it, and England now 187 for 6 with 1 to play. Shadows lengthening here at the Eden Gardens, iconic venue. Many great games of cricket over the years played here, and of course, given that it is in the city of joy, Kolkata, which enjoys its sport, and nothing better to demonstrate that love of the fans when yet again, just looking around the stadium here, Finney, it is remarkable how many people have come in to watch a game which many would argue is inconsequential, and yet whether it is the excitement of seeing Italy, who is such a powerhouse in football, and the love of football in this city has brought them here, or it is to see some of their heroes from the IPL and the English team bat. We don't know what, but the fact is it has certainly brought a lot of atmosphere and character to this game and to this ground right now.
Yeah, but well, it's one of the beautiful things, isn't it, about this World Cup, and these teams facing off against each other, people enjoying the late evening or late afternoon sun here to watch this last over.
Stewart bowls, and this one's a full toss. It's been clipped away, and that'll sail back over the deep backward square boundary for 6. So very good start to the over from an England point of view. Quite the opposite for Italy, and England approaching 200 now. 193 for 6 with 5 balls to come.
Jack's 46 from 19. It's been really good hitting. As soon as the bowlers have missed, he's hit. He didn't time that one really at all, and it's gone absolutely comfortably over the ropes at deep backward square leg. So dangerous. Hitting at this stage, Grant Stewart would have bowled at him a lot in domestic cricket in the UK. Stewart plays for Kent. Jacks plays for Surrey, so they ply their trade in the South group of the T20 Blast, and this matchup favouring Jacks at the moment.
Yep, striking at 242 is Will Jacks. His 46 has just taken him 19 balls, and Stewart in again bowls, and this time it's hit firmly. May have just got a fingertip to it. There's no way he was going to hold on to it. A single off the fielder coming off the long off boundary takes Jacks to 47, England to 194 for 6. The two batters walk across to each other, just discussing quickly what they might be looking to do. Jamie Overton on strike now. He himself has done very well. 15 of 8, just what the doctor ordered for England. Grant Stewart, pressure on him now. He runs into bowl from the high court end, the far end bowls, and this one's wide. It's been skied in the air. Fielder getting under it at deep backward point and does take the catch. I think it's Krishna who takes the catch, Kalugamage, and that means England have lost their 7th wicket in the form of Jamie Overton. Slightly wide of off stump, didn't get hold of it, maybe just top edged it, and ball went looping in the air. It was a high catch. The sun is setting, but Krishna Kalugamage taking a good catch as he waited under it.
Yeah, good bowling by Grant Stewart there, throwing it towards the wide line. We've seen Italy try that tactic to Overton. You know how dangerous he is, clubbing it over the leg side, try and get it out of his swinging arm. No, try and get him, allow him no power. And Grant Stewart did that. It was pretty much on the wide line. All Overton could do is reach for it and tow it out towards the deep cover fielder, who takes a simple catch. So good from Stewart, but it's only mild respite. Jofra Archer comes to the crease, who loves his batting. Walloped some around in the Ashes as well, didn't he? Enjoyed himself at Adelaide in particular, and would look to enjoy himself these last 3 balls and get England up over 200. Now, what I would say is, if he's sensible here, Jofra Archer, you just get a single and let Will Jacks wallop those last 2 balls.
Well, we shall find out. In at number 9, Jofra Archer, and very soon we'll see his silken action in bowling action when England come out to defend whatever they get. For the moment, it's 3 more balls to be bowled in this over for this innings to be complete, and it's Grant who's in, bowls to Archer wide outside the off stump and signalled as such, just missing that blue line not by a lot, but as you said, Finney, not the margin for error is just so small.
Yeah, it is. It feels unfair sometimes for bowlers, doesn't it? Certainly as a former bowler, I feel the pain of all bowlers out there bowling at this stage of the game. You've got a new batter though, that is some solace for Grant Stewart in this situation.
Short boundary on the offside for Archer, and Stewart's in again, bowls, and dug out nicely by Archer, and he's done the job. Got Jacques back on strike with 2 balls to face. In fact, 2 balls to face with that one. 2 wides in the over. 1 wide and a wicket in the over. 9 runs have come off it so far. 2 balls to come. England 196 for 7. And we talked about 200, which is very much on the cards. 1 blow away, and then whatever else they can possibly get. The spinners then, Kalagamage 4 overs, 2 for 41. And Manenti 4 overs, 1 for 37. Certainly just pulling things back a little bit for Italy. Stewart bowls, and this one's lofted into the onside. I think he made a brave attempt there, the fielder. That's his 50 as well. 6 more to him and to England. The 200 comes up, 202 for 7. It was touch and go. One of those acrobatic efforts at the deep square leg boundary. Not successful, but brave attempt indeed. So we just watched that replay. The ball struck firmly and just bursting through. There was enough power in it. And Jacques plays another blinder. 53 of 21. Finney.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, hasn't he? And adapting to that role at number 7, that must be so different to batting at the top of the order with a brand new ball, but he's fulfilling that role for the team. And here he's been savage on any time the Italian bowlers have missed. He's walloped it to the boundary and has put England in a really good position here, creeping over 200 with 1 ball left.
Grant Stewart has gone for 51 so far. He's in now. Bowls, and it's a good ball. They're trying to take the run and they will not get it. So the end of the innings with a dot, but England get to 202 for 7. So Italy will require 203 if they are to cause what many would argue would be the upset of the tournament. England, of course, will want to ensure that they not only win but win well, and all that will follow in the second half of the game. The ground staff rush onto the pitch to try and do their mandatory repairs. Stephen Finn, your thoughts on England's innings, and then over to Henry Moran.
Yeah, it was topsy-turvy, wasn't it? There was one stage where it just looked as though if Italy took 1 more wicket, they might put England under serious pressure going into the second half of the game, but a really good partnership between Curran and Jacques, who then lost Curran but continued his momentum through the back end of the innings to put what is should be an unchaseable target on the board for England against Italy, but you just never know, and a couple of early wickets will allay any fears that England might have of being dumped out the tournament at this stage.
Well, yeah, it's a good job done by Will Jacques, 53 off 22 balls, and though there have been lots of starts in this England innings. How many times have we said it? It has been starts that have been failed to be built upon, and that is the big frustration from an England point of view, who finished on 202 for 7. Stephen Finn, thank you very much. So 202 for 7, we'll be hearing from Will Jacques, who looks increasingly like Eminem down there with his bleached blonde hair down on the boundary edge, chatting to Erin Holland. England's total 202 for 7. Next highest score after Jacques 53 was Tom Banton's 30 off 21, then Salt 28, Bethel 23, 25 for Sam Curran. Again, starts without that big total, and 2 wickets apiece for Stewart and Kalagamage. The pick of the performances with the ball for Italy. So England managing to go at 14 and over for the final 3, and prior to that as well in the latter middle phase, 15 to 17, the acceleration point as described by the ICC, 15 and a half and over, and that really did move things forward.
Well,
here's Will
like
Jacques.
England were in a spot of bother until this man strode to the crease. Will Jacques, unbelievable stuff from me, 53 off just 22 balls. How did you manage to sum up conditions so quickly compared to how the other had gone?
Well, I think you've got to give credit to the top order there. The way they relay information is obviously critical in T20 cricket, and I had a very good idea of what the pitch was like when I went out there. What
can you tell us about the wicket and what was most difficult to contend with?
Yeah, it's probably the best one we've played on so far, I think. Minimal spin, not much hold with the slower balls. a little bit on the lower side compared to where we've been at the Wankiti, but it's a very good batting strike.
Yeah, you've obviously got a wonderful bowling lineup to try and defend this massive total that you were really responsible for putting on the board. Will we see you with the ball? What are your plans should you get a chance with the pill today?
Always available. Just wait and see what Bricky wants to do. Yeah, it's a good score, but we've seen how Italy have battered in this tournament so far. They've obviously got a dangerous lineup, so we're going to have to bowl well.
Yeah, what was the word about Team Italy? Obviously the first time you've ever played them in an ICC event, first time in cricket as well, which is a bit of fun for all of us who obviously know you from a football side of things. But what was the plan of attack for Italy?
Well, it's brilliant having them in the comp, and I think we're lucky that we've played them in our last group game, so we've been able to watch them earlier on. So we've learned from how they've gone about that. I think it's about taking care of what you do first and then looking at the opposition.
Well, job done for you. We're absolutely sensational today. Congratulations.
Will Jacks chatting to Erin Holland on the boundary edge. Jack scored 53 off 22 balls on the way to England's 202 for 7. They were at one point 92 for 4, 105 for 5, so wobbling a little bit, but did get the runs to take them past 200. Right, well, Andrea Bocelli has been in touch. Let's hear what he's had to say.
Carissimi fratelli Mosca, intanto congratulazioni, complimenti, auguri. So che vi allenate con la mia canzone e questo mi fa molto onore e piacere. Faccio tanti cari auguri e spero di incontrarvi presto. Buon cricket.
That translates as, Dear Mosca brothers, congratulations and best wishes. I know you train listening to my song. Such an honour. Amazing to hear. I wish you all the best of luck and I hope to meet you very soon. Well, how about that? Andrea Bocelli and cricket. There's a link you weren't necessarily expecting. Italy require 203 from 120 balls, and Prakash Wakankar is standing by to take us through the opening phases with Jofra Archer at the end of his mark.
Right then, the 203 target is something that not many will fancy Italy to get, but they'll want to give a good account of themselves. And the two brothers, the Mosca brothers, together now, the left-handed opening bat. Justin on strike to Jofra Archer. First ball coming up. Here he is, past the umpire, in bowls, and it's worked away. Probably just taking a bit of inside edge onto the pad. Wait for the umpire's signal. They're off the mark with a single, and so is Justin. So one without loss, the first over. Jofra Archer starting things off from the pavilion end, the clubhouse end, as the floodlights begin to take effect here at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata, in the east of India, the city of joy, a city steeped in history, as indeed is this cricket ground. And a slip in place then for the right-handed Anthony Mosca. Man at deep third, and a man at deep backward square. Here's Archer. Eases into that run-up and bowls, and this one's gone straight up in the air. This will be taken. Yes, it is. A good catch running back on the mid-on boundary by the England captain. So England strike early, and the first wicket down. Anthony Mosca looking to plant this one somewhere in the mid-wicket area over the stands, ends up just skying it. And a good catch, well judged in the end by Harry Brook, and that sits Italy back significantly, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd feel that is the case. A good catch by Brook running back, actually not easy when it's going up over your right shoulder like that, and he had to travel probably 25 yards towards the boundary, but Mosca just anticipating what Archer is going to try and do, bang it in just over the top of the stumps, and too quick, too bouncy, too good, gone first ball.
Yep, 1 for 1. And not the kind of start that Italy would have wanted, but there it is. England will be absolutely thrilled with that start, setting Italy back early on. The two brothers coming off an unbeaten 124-run partnership to register their first win in T20 World Cups against Nepal. At the moment, finding that it might not be quite as simple. There's Archer now in bowls, and bailing out of the stroke is Smuts, just dropping his wrist, letting the ball go through to the keeper. 142 K is that ball. Slightly different from the Nepal bowlers, pace-wise.
Yeah, and it's the bounce, isn't it? It's everything. I mean, Jofra Archer, we know he's a special bowler to the best batters in the world who found him challenging. So It's a reminder to him to just keep it simple, keep the pace on, keep smashing that pitch, ask the Italian players to make the mistakes.
Slip and place, Archer's in, close to the wicket, balls, and he strikes him on the pad. Ball ricochets shy at the non-striker's end. Smuts makes sure he's back in his crease. 1 for 1 in the first over. So England, if you're just joining us late, after a bit of a slowdown in the middle, losing a few early wickets, then got to 202, powered by that brilliant knock by Will Jacks. Contributions, of course, coming in also from Banton, Bethel and Sam Curran in the middle overs with that partnership of 45, all aiding in that total. Here's Archer in again, bowls, and this one's defended. Impossible run thought of, and quickly decide against it. Banton fields, remains 1 for 1.
And when you have a start like this as a team, the way that the innings finish would help a lot, but if you come out first over and the ball starts flying around a little bit, skewing edges up over deep third, good shots, then you can start to flare around a bit as a bowling team. But Jofra Archer started really well here and just settled any nerves there might have been.
Last ball of the over coming up, tosses the ball from his right hand to his left and breaks into his run-up. He's in, he bowls. And this one's taken at first slip. That's 2 in the first over for Jofra Archer. He's slicing through the Italy top order like a hot knife through butter at the moment. 1 run on the board, 2 wickets down, and both the Mosca brothers, in fact it's Smuts, I beg your pardon, who came in and is gone without scoring, having faced 4 balls. England right on top.
Well, it's an attempted punch through the offside, back of a length. Simple game plan from Jofra Archer, a scrambled seam, which is what he bowls when he wants the ball to stand up away from the right-handed batters, and Smuts was beaten for pace, and this flies off the shoulder of the bat to Jamie Overton at first slip, who takes a nice catch around shoulder high, moving to his left. And England have 2 in the first over, and Smuts has gone for naught.
And in defence of Italy, Henry Moran just passing me a bit of news. Jofra Archer's wicket-taking delivery was clocked at 5 miles per hour quicker than the fastest delivery Italy have faced in their opening 2 games. So in their defence, slightly different kettle of fish.
Very different, and that's why England will feel as though when they play well, they have almost every base covered. Long batting line-up, wrist spin, finger spin, extreme pace. They do seem to have it all, but they've not managed to put it all together just yet.
Well, this is shaping to be one of those games, maybe not quite so with the bat, but certainly finishing that way. And with the ball, Archer has certainly given them a dream start, with Overton now to bowl the second over from the high court end. And big job in front of the Italian batters. Justin Mosca, who's got the only run that Italy have on the board, now on strike, the left-hander. Slip in place again. Here's Overton in, bowls and swivels round as Mosca along the ground down towards the backward square. Bethel fields, there's 1 more to the total. 2 for 2. There's something to be said, isn't it, Finney? You always say that when you're opening the batting or 1 drop early on in the power play, can't really fault a batter for going for a big shot, but you've got to figure out for yourself as to what the bowling attack is like and decide whether it's worth the risk or not. Didn't come off for the first 2 Italian batters who faced Archer in that over. Here's Overton now into bowl to Manenti. Bowls, and Manenti lets it go outside the off stump.
Yeah, Overton just banging it in, just back of a length, a little bit of shape, a slip there for any little tickle that there might be. But when you're bowling at the other end and there are 2 wickets on the board already, it allows you just a few balls to settle into it. The Italians will look to rebuild, they'll have to consolidate. The second slip is now going in. Harry Brook saw that shape from Jamie Overton, that previous delivery, so takes himself from mid-off into a second slip.
Here's Overton now. In again, bowls, and this one he's connected with. Has he got enough on it? Fielder running around. Makes a brilliant effort, jumping outside the fence to try and toss the ball back in. Doesn't quite succeed, and that's 6 welcome runs for Italy and for Manenti. Didn't get all of it, but enough to just go over that long leg boundary for 6.
He actually tried to keep it down. His hands came from high to low, but takes a thick top edge out towards deep backward square leg, and Phil Salt running round from deep backward square tries to do the jumping, throwing back in kind of catch, but ends up 2 foot in the advertising boards.
This one's outside the off stump. Again, a bit of shape, left alone by Menenti, who's on 6. Italy are 8. They've lost 2 wickets in the first over from Jofra Archer. Archer right on the money, and that'll bring a lot of joy, won't it, to the England team. In these kind of tournaments, it's more about peaking at the right time. It's not so much whether you've sort of blown away the opposition in every game. You just get the feeling that in this game so far, England's certainly on top in all departments. Here's Overton in again. Bowls, and this one's pulled away, not with any timing at all. Hit high on the bat, but safe, and a single to Menenti and to Italy.
I think he might have top edged that into his face. Umpires are both calling for a concussion test of some sort. I think he looked to help it up over his left shoulder over the short fine leg fielder, but gets a little top edge into the grill, I think. So the physio and the 12ers are coming out to just make sure everything's okay.
Umpire caught just gesticulating there, and saw that on the replay, just to tell anyone who didn't get it, like me, that the ball actually came off the bat onto the grill. Shakes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's never pleasant being hit in the grill. Probably would have gone for 6 if it hadn't hit him in the head. So regretting that his head was there.
Everything seems to be okay. Menenti's cleared the test that the physio would have administered to him, and the last ball of the second over of the Italian innings coming up now from Jamie Overton. The man on strike is Justin Mosca. Here's Overton bowls and beats him outside the off stump as he looks to just shape it away on the offside, glide it away. Doesn't make any contact, just as well. And the end of the second over, Italy are 9 for 2, chasing an unlikely 203, 194 in deficit.
Good pace by Jamie Overton there, 90 miles an hour, scrambled seam delivery, just nipping across the left-handed batter whose feet were well and truly inside the crease there to that ball bouncing across him. A little dabble at that outside the off stump, but nothing doing as it doesn't touch anything. But England have started well here. They've set the tone.
Certainly have. And as you said, early wickets is just the tonic a fielding side needs. England have not 1 but 2 in that first over, and Archer now ready to go in and bowl his second over with Menenti on strike. Here's bowls once again, a little late on that stroke. Bit of bat and pad, runs out towards mid wicket. They'll take 1. And Italy's total moves into double figures. They're now 10 for 2 in the third over. There used to be a time when this stadium did not have these sort of bucket seats, as we call them, slabs of concrete. And during test matches in the day, it used to be terribly hot. But the Calcutta crowd always making it a point to fill the stadium up, and a full Eden Gardens is a sight to behold then and now. There's Archer in, bowls, and it's through him. Completely beaten is Justin Mosca. The ball just shaping away from him just a shade, and he does well, in fact, not to get a nick on it.
Yeah, it's an absolute beauty from Archer, who's been banging away back of a length predominantly. This one's a lot fuller, so inviting the batter to come forward, who doesn't take that invitation. Both feet stuck in the crease again, and a little dab outside the off stump to a ball that moves across him. No tickle on the edge though.
Slip in place, of course, as we've seen right from the beginning. England on the attack. They'd like to wrap this up quickly and give themselves a boost in every way you think of it. Here's Archer bowls. This one's a little bit wide. It was there to be hit, but late on it, I think, is Justin Mosca. The ball was through him before he completed his shot. Just the pace. Two batters. Quick word again in the middle as Archer walks back. In many ways, Jofra Archer, when you look at him and you look at his body language as he walks back to the top, you think of him as a genial giant. You don't really think of him as one of those aggressive guys who come in till he's got the ball in his hand, and then that thunderbolt is released. Can't be fun standing with a bat in your hand across him.
No, I faced him a couple of times, and it was a grossly unpleasant experience.
Change in the line of attack from Jofra Archer. He's going to go round the wicket now to the left-hander. Justin Mosca, who settles on his bat and waits for the next delivery. Goes and bowls, and this one's nicely played by Justin Mosca out towards the extra cover area. Will Jacks does the fielding. There's no chance for run. 10 for 2 then. Italy chasing 203. England getting 202 in the end. Clearly the best total of England's efforts with the bat so far in the tournament. Struggled against Nepal, but the other night here, in the end, a comfortable win, and they like to make it 2-2 at the Eden Gardens. Here's Archer bowls, and this one's played nicely in the gap. It might just run away. The outfield is lightning quick, and it does. The gentle push really, but decently timed. So 4 runs to Mosca and to Italy. 14 now for 2 with that boundary.
Yeah, but I prefer the over the wicket line that Jofra Archer, and the angle that Archer was bowling with. I think from round, the batter's able to just punch through the line of it, whereas when it's over, you have that natural angle across, which brings the outside edge into play. A really nice push. Actually moves his feet towards the ball this time, Mosca. Times it nicely through extra cover for 4. Nice shot.
Nice comfortable looking stance. Bat raised, waits. This one's on the leg stump. It's worked away nicely, and this might just get to 4. Yes, it does. No chance really for Phil Salt, who's very almost forward of square, and this one races away to his left into the boundary for 4 runs. So a good end of the over from an Italian perspective. 18 for 2 at the end of 3.
Yeah, tries to overcorrect his line there and angled in towards leg stump, and with the angle from round the wicket just continues on down the leg side, and with no fielder outside the circle at fine leg, the pace on the ball, it just races away, and 4 more to Mosca. Another nice shot.
Harry Menenti on 8 now to face the next over from Jamie Overton. The second slip has gone back to where it was, so Brooke has gone back to mid-off. Will Jacks remains at that solitary slip. Adil Rashid at what is now almost customary for him at 45 inside the ring. And Overton bowls, and this one struck firmly, and what a shot. It hits the boundary cushions on the full, I think, flat. Wait for the umpire to signal it, but I think it might be 6.
I'm with you there, Prak. That's a really nice shot. Overton charging in, looking to bowl as quick as he can, but the length is wrong, and it's around chest height, and just helps it round the corner. It goes so flat out towards the boundary, and I think, well, there's a little puff as it. There's a little puff of dust as it hit the ropes. I don't know whether that was the ball bouncing before. It was. 4 has been signalled. 4
signalled by the umpire. Wasn't much in it. Again, just proving the fact that everything here at this level is in inches, if not centimeters. This one's short and wide outside the off stump, looking to help it on its way over the third area. Doesn't connect, does Menenti, and the score remains 22 for 2.
Well, he's done the classic there. Bowled a bad ball short and wide outside the off stump. Immediately foothold. It must have been the foothold. Cursory glance and a frustrated kick at the dust.
The slips moved out. Jack's gone into a position just at the edge of the 30-yard circle at point. And Overton is in again now to bowl to Menenti. Overton bowls, and Menenti gets a thick outside edge. Smart bit of fielding by Bethel, diving to his wrong side, his right, and makes a clean stop. No run. 22 for 2.
Yeah, he's electric in there, Jacob Bethel. A really efficient mover towards a cricket ball. He's come straight into the England team and taken that backward point position to be his own, and outstanding dive into his right.
Such a key position, and in recent times, of course, Glenn Phillips makes that into something much more than just a fielding position. Over the years, many great fielders have made that position their own. This one's worked away on the onside, not for runs again, and a bit of a wild throw that from is it Banton, is it? No, it's Sam Curran. He almost took Joss Butler by surprise there. Butler did well to get a glove on it.
Well, that was almost 4 overthrows. That would have frustrated me as a bowler, I think it's fair to say.
Sam Curran had shot mid-wicket just at the edge of the square, and now bowls. Big booming drive attempted, strikes nothing but thin air as it goes into the gloves of Joss Butler. 22 for 2. With 1 ball of the 4th over to come, lights in their full glory now. the DJ in full flow in Bengali, which really drives this crowd. They love it. They love the Eden Gardens. They love the cricket, and they're certainly come here in good numbers, considering it's another neutral game. Here's Overton bowls, and this time he gets inside the line, and Butler's taken a stunner, has he? Yes, he has. I wasn't sure if he'd got some bat on it. Got inside the line, looking to ramp it over, and Jos Buttler, thrusting his right hand, right glove across his body, takes a absolutely brilliant acrobatic catch to strike for the third time. Overton has his first, and Italy find themselves 3 down for 22 at the end of the 4th over.
Well, it's a brilliant catch by Butler. The batter looking to play the ramp shot, or more of a flip up over the keeper's head, and just gets a little glove, and Butler has to readjust his feet and dives high and left as if he's a goalkeeper trying to tip it over the bar with his right hand, reaching towards the left hand side, but it just settles in his mitt there. The fact that it hit the glove probably took a little bit of pace out of the ball, which meant it didn't carry up and over his head. And Manenti played a couple of nice shots in his 12, has gone for 12 from 11, and Italy 22 for 3. Looking a long way off.
Indeed. A lot of ground to cover here, and England have as close, I think, to a dream start as you'd ask for. Certainly their best start with the ball in the tournament, no question about it. 3 quick wickets, just 4 overs bowled. Overton with his first, and of course Archer with 2 in his first over, setting the tone, staying round the wicket, which is not exactly what you want, Finney.
No, I like that angle from over. I think from round you're asking the ball to do a lot, especially in a white ball game, to find the outside edge to first slip. Cue him nicking him off to first slip.
Bowls, and this one's cracked away, gets the thick outside edge, races away to the backward point boundary in a flash for 4 runs. So 26 for 3, and Moscow's up to 14.
And the slightest bit of width there from Archer, and because Moscow's staying just slightly leg side of it, turns it into width, so he's able to just throw his hands at it and beats the backward point fielder, and it's got enough pace on it to beat the deep third as well. 4.
26 for 3 now, and Archer reverting now to what Stephen Finn was suggesting, over the wicket into the left-hander bowls, and is defended on the offside. Nicely played, just back of a length, and defended on the offside, just drops it down. No run. 26 for 3.
But even just playing that, it looked far more awkward than the line from round the wicket. He looked as though he was half thinking about what might be if the ball nipped across him. So a much better line of attack for taking wickets, this for me, from Jofra Archer.
We're in the 5th over here, with Italy having lost their top 3 with 26 on the board. One Manenti has replaced the other. Barry Manenti is now at the non-striker's end. Moscow is beaten by a lovely ball, just a bit of extra bounce, a bit of extra kick and pace, and Archer inquiring how he's feeling at the crease, I think very politely, mind you. 26 for 3 in the 5th.
Yeah, he gets fired up when he bowls, Jofra Archer, as you need to be able to bowl quick. You have to have a touch of anger about you all the time to be able to propel the leather ball down there at the rate that he does, and just reminding Moscow, I think, that he's still there.
Yes, there must be some very famous quotes from quick bowlers to batters, and sometimes vice versa in international cricket. As Archer turns, goes away from us now, the crowd gets behind him, and he bowls, and this one's pulled away handsomely in front of square. That'll run away for 4. May not have got all of it, but got enough to be able to send it down to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. 30 for 3. Good shot that from Justin Mosca. I wonder what the response will be like.
Well, I know a few batters, I'm thinking of David Warner in particular, small left-handers who, after you've chirped them, if they didn't hit you for 4 the next ball, they would let you have something back. It looked like Mosca might have just bit his tongue now.
30 for 3. Archer in to bowl to Mosca, having been just hit for 4. Nice and full, pushed away defensively on the offside. Goes to Jacques at extra cover, who feels there is no run. You can just feel the energy and the spring in the step of the England fielders. The blue and red kit standing out on this beautiful Eden Gardens green outfield. It makes a lovely sight with the blue of Italy. The 2 batters doing battle, trying to get as far as they can towards that total of 203 and acquit themselves admirably. They've already done that, one would say, having won their first ever game in a T20 World Cup, having beaten Nepal, who ran England so close in that first game that England played in Mumbai at the Wankhede Stadium. Changes in the field, slips come out to straightish mid-wicket, and a change of personnel and positions for Adil Rashid, who comes across to short third from a short fine leg. Here's Archer in now to bowl to Mosca. He's in, he bowls, and Mosca guides it nicely over the top of backward point. This is a good over for Italy. 12 runs have come off it, I beg your pardon. 34 for 3 now. 5 overs have been completed, and we will have a change in commentary with Henry Moran. In fact, a double change with Henry Moran taking over ball by ball, and coming into Stephen Finn's spot is Matt Henry.
Thank you very much, Prakash. So 34 for 3, the Italy score. The required rate stands at a fairly hefty 11.27. And England will be pretty confident. I think that's fair to say. But Mosca's having some fun out there, Matt.
He is. It's nice to see after you had such a lovely chat with him yesterday. Henry's played well, a few nice shots. That one just there off Archer, using the pace to get it down to deep third. Nice shot.
We're going to see Will Jacks bowl for the final over the power play. And his first ball is a filthy long hop, which is punished by Ben Menenti, whose first ball goes fizzing down towards the fine leg boundary. Jacks getting the opportunity to bowl. I've not been convinced by his bowling this tournament, Matt, I have to be honest.
No, he was okay against Nepal in the first game, and then he had a difficult day against West Indies, and that was almost compounded by the fact that Roston Chase, the sort of equivalent in the West Indies team.
Jacks in, this is spooned in the air just over Archer, down to the boundary for 4. It goes down towards deep third, and they're having some fun here, Italy. But England will be wary of fun turning into fear, because you do not want to get to the position where there is belief in the Italian lineup. They're just starting to find the boundary. It's the 9th time in the innings so far. England hit 12 fours and 12 sixes, by the way. Will Jacks was responsible for quite a lot of those. He made 53 off 22 balls. As the next ball goes onto the hips of Menenti, and there's no run.
Yeah, just to finish that point about Will Jacks, so Roston Chase is sort of the off-spinning all-rounder in West Indies team, and he took 2 really important wickets in England's game against West Indies while Jacks got whacked around.
Jacks is in, and that's punched with good timing towards extra cover. Throw comes in from Brook. It's a wild one taken. So 43 for 3. 2 balls left of the power play, at which point you'd have thought the run scoring will slow down. Normally does. You'd
think, well, he's just started warming up already. Adil Rashid will be on straight away. Test out these two sort of Australian-born, Australian-based, the system that they've come through with a bit of leg spin.
So Jacks to come round the wicket. The left-handed Justin Mosca is 22 from 14. And he won't find a run there. It's a better line from Jacks. There's another good crowd, this, Matt.
Yes, I was just saying to one of our colleagues, one of our local journalist colleagues out in the press box, well over a third full, you'd say.
Yeah. Jacks a little bit quicker, flatter, smacked away behind square on the offside for 4. So 13 from the over. Italy 47 for 3 after 6, and Jacks again a little unconvincing with the ball.
Yeah, 13 runs from his first over is not ideal. Obviously it's relevant because if England are to win this game, and obviously they should do from here with 156 needed from 84, England head to Sri Lanka next for their Super 8 phase, where spin will be crucial. Jacks performed well in that series, that white ball tour before this World Cup in Sri Lanka. He'd obviously have more turn on offer there, you'd think, than today. This hasn't really turned at all, this pitch today.
Least turn in the tournament,
yeah,
according to the stats.
There you go.
So but it's the lack of control, I think, is the worry, isn't it? And England should be looking at the ability to find players and bowlers who can, if not cause wicket-taking threat, then tie up an end. And that's the worry. There's always been someone to get after when England have turned to that extra bowler.
Yeah, and that's a trick. To be fair to Jacks, that's a tricky over for him to come on and bowl in the power play as an off-spinner, the last over of the power play as well, which is the one that typically gets attacked the hardest. I think it's stands as one of, well, it's definitely one of the most expensive. Maybe the last couple are more expensive these days, but the run rate specifically in the 6th over is a big spike in that when you look at it split that way across the innings. So it's a tricky over for him to face. There are caveats, but not the best start from Jacks.
Well, this is match 2 of 3 today, as we head towards the latter stages of the initial group phase, and a massive game tonight with Australia taking on Sri Lanka in Pallekele. We'll be heading there at the conclusion of this game, and it's a big one, this, Matt.
It is, definitely, and it's another one where we're looking at the permutations of what does it mean, what needs to happen.
So go on.
We think if Australia, well, we don't think it is correct, if Australia were to lose today and then Zimbabwe were to win tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, Australia would be out.
Zimbabwe tomorrow face
Ireland,
a game that they'll fancy.
Yep, haven't beaten Australia, and Ireland haven't been. They played better in their last game, but they haven't been particularly convincing at all, really. Fielded quite poorly throughout. And Australia are playing hosts Sri Lanka, who are unbeaten, have already scored 220 in one of their games in this tournament. So that is a massive game. And are Australia going to throw Steve Smith straight in? Have we mentioned yet that he's been called up into that squad today? It seems like a very obvious thing for them to do after he's got 100 in the Big Bash. Such a good player of spin to get him in there. The opportunity as injuries to other players has allowed it.
Yeah, we'll be live on ABC as well as Test Match Special, 5 Sports Extra, and across the world on the ICC website as well. Sun setting here in Kolkata as the umpire signals that we're out of the initial power play. So 5 allowed outside the circle, and here comes Adil Rashid with his leg spin. That's dropped in horribly short, and it's 6. Manenti clobbers it into the leg side. That was the definition of a loosener.
It's almost a delivery that Adil Rashid used to be accused of bowling earlier on in his career, that there used to be one sort of drag down or one full toss and over. He has cut that out in the latter part of his career. It's so much more accurate these days. Just occasionally his first ball can be a bit of a long hop, as that was, and punished.
Rashid, it's again a bit short, and this is hacked down the ground. Overton will collect on the bounce with 1 taken. So Italy need 149 from 82 balls. This partnership's now worth 32 or 14, and the required rate's just under 11. There is still belief in that Italian side, and there should be.
11 is manageable. A run rate of 11. 3 wickets are the problem, especially obviously Italy don't have the depth of batting that other teams, or depth of quality batting that the other teams would have.
Adil Rashid again to the left-handed Mosca, who's on to 27 with a cross-batted wallop down the ground towards Sam Curran. If you want to learn more about the Mosca brothers, BBC Sport website, you can find out all about them. And growing up in Sydney with lots of Italian neighbours, part of an Italian family. This is dropped short from Rashid, but it's not put away by Ben Manenti, who's another of the Australian-Italian contingent, and a familiar figure from BBL cricket as well, playing for the Sydney Sixers, mustachioed figure. Here comes Rashid, and that's down the leg side, but there is protection at fine leg in the form of Will Jackson, so it'll just be the 1 run. 9 from the over with the ball left of it. Italy 56 for 3, need 147 from 79.
Ian Dawson warming up over there as well at short fine leg. It's going to be spin from both ends, it seems, from Harry Brook.
Here's Rashid, shirt tucked in, high waistband, and he's in once again. Fuller delivery. That's a much better length from Rashid, and it's pushed into the offside. So 3 from the final 5 balls of the over after that big 6 to kick things off. 7 gone, and it is 56 for 3. So Matt, you're making the journey to Sri Lanka along with the England team, presuming they win this.
Yep.
And the Super 8 phase, we think we'll see England up against, in theory, well, Sri Lanka.
If you go by the rankings, it'd be Sri Lanka, Pakistan and New Zealand. There's still a bit to do, particularly for Sri Lanka, as we've said, in that tight group with Australia, and Pakistan definitely after their defeat against India last night. Still work to do to know who will be playing. There's a chance that it could be Zimbabwe, but for Zimbabwe to get through, they'd have to qualify at the expense for Zimbabwe to get through and play in England's group, they'd have to qualify at the expense of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
If that's not too confusing. If Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe go through, then Zimbabwe will go into the other side of the draw, Sri Lanka be in England's group. But if Zimbabwe and Australia go through, then Zimbabwe will be in England's bit section, if that makes sense.
It does. Easy written down. Dawson round the wicket, clobbered into the leg side. This is going to be 6 to start the over. Well, a loosener from Dawson as well, and Manenti was onto it quickly, smacks it over wide, long on, and Italy moved to 62 for 3. If you want to see all of the who has to do what, well, there is a cricket section of the BBC Sport website. There is somewhere that explains it all. Dawson quickly into his work again, and there'll be a single to deep cover off the back foot towards Bethel. Italy 63 for 3, require 140 from 76. Tomorrow's offerings, the early game is New Zealand against Canada from Chepak in Chennai, and then it is Ireland against Zimbabwe, big game potentially, and then Scotland against Nepal at the Wankhede in Mumbai. So 3 more fixtures for you tomorrow, and that big game tonight, which gets underway in around about an hour and 40 from now. Sri Lanka against Australia at Pallekele. Here comes Dawson round the wicket with his left arm spin. Mosca will flog the ball towards the leg side. Bethel fields. 1 run taken. 139 off 75. Partnership now 42 off 21. They're going along very nicely, these two.
I think we saw at the end of the previous over that DLS score was up at 83, I think it was, which does just give you a hint of that Italy are still well behind where they want to be.
But that'll help as it goes out to the boundary. Oh, that's a good piece of fielding from Bethel. Diving to his right, Superman style, and he gets huge applause from the crowd out there in front of the old scoreboard. He leapt to his right, and with a flying flash of a blonde mullet and a brief display of some blue underpants, he manages to save the boundary.
He's a brilliant fielder, isn't he, Bethel? He just moves, and everything about him is so graceful in the field. He's quick, but he just sort of glides around. It's brilliant.
65 for 3. 2 balls left of the 8th over. Dawson in, that's outside the off stump, and goes through to the gloves of Butler. Nicely bowled, a little bit of extra sizzle on it. Italy need 138 from 73 balls. Mosca, the opener, has 28 from 20. He waits now that diminutive left-hander who's growing his hair to be like Paolo Maldini's, an Italian footballer. That's again wide. He could have left it alone. That would have probably been given as a wide. Instead chased it, runs it towards Adil Rashid, and there'll be another dot ball to finish an over worth 9. So the last 30 balls yielding 47 for 1. There's a punch of the gloves between Manenti and Mosca.
It's 2 very similar overs there, wasn't it, from Rashid and Dawson, who are now having a chat as they walk to their fielding position. It's going to be another bowling change, but both get hit for a boundary first ball, but then ultimately come back well to concede only 9, which is fewer than the required run rate. So that's crept up now to 11.5. It's still manageable. We saw Italy had a very similar chase in their game against Scotland, that they had I think it was a 4th wicket partnership where it just kept them interested, but then when that 4th wicket fell, it almost just fell away after some early wickets, the back end. So England will be hoping for similar.
Here's Sam Curran into the attack, hacked down the ground from the bat of Manenti, the right-hander, towards Jamie Overton for 1. So a New England bowler comes in the attack and doesn't get hit for 6 immediately, which was the story of the previous 2 overs from Rashid and Dawson. Yeah, that game saw a partnership of 73 for that 4th wicket between Harry Manenti and Ben Manenti. But in the end, when that fell away, they went from 113 for 4 to 134 for 9. Here comes Sam Curran. Into bowl to Justin Mosca. Nicely angled towards backward point. There'll be no run there. Throw comes in rather wildly, and that's just unnecessary from England because there was nobody backing up, and as the throw came in, it allowed an easy single. So I think Liam Dawson, that's a little mark on your report card for the day because that was unnecessary. 67 for 3.
Yeah, just a little bit sloppy. It's only a single, but it just keeps the scoreboard moving when it shouldn't have. Had Curran started with a single and a dot there, and it just cranked up the pressure a little bit more, but as it is a bit of a wild throw, gives away a run.
Here is Curran with the sun setting quickly, and it does in this part of the world. It's almost blink and you miss it. Floodlights very much having taken over. Curran runs in, full delivery, chipped in the air, down the ground. There's a chance potentially, it could be 6, it is 6. Manenti got underneath it, and it is little details like that, Matt, where you allow the single, next ball, wouldn't you know, it goes for 6. And it's just unnecessary. Yeah. 73 for 3.
Manenti is striking at 246 runs per 100 balls here. The single allowed him back on strike. I'm not sure he really got out the middle. It went a long way up, but comfortably over the boundary.
Long off goes out as Curran comes in, and that's helped away down the leg side. It's 6 more. Italy believe here. 124 needed off 68 balls, back-to-back 6s after that errant behaviour in the field from Liam Dawson, and Italy is 79 for 3, which is ahead of where England were at this point in their innings.
Yep, it's just a little bit twitchy. England will think 1 wicket and it swings back our way, and it definitely will. That's true. Can Sam Curran get it here, because England need it?
14 from the over so far, banged in short, and Curran, who can bowl a reasonably hostile bouncer, even though the pace isn't that electric, it's awkward, and it's a dot ball. Italy need 124 off 67 balls. There's no way they should win this game from here, but the partnership's 57 off 29. Then you just never know. Curran again. It's a deep cover, deep backward point. Long off, deep mid-wicket and deep backward square. Outside the off stump, and it's that wafty, slow, horrible delivery, which is missed as it goes through at 115 kilometres an hour. And a couple of dot balls to finish the over. So Italy need 124 from the remaining 11. They are, as I say, ahead of where England were. They were 76 for 3 at this point. Big runs came at the back end of the innings, it must be said, but yeah, if England win this game, which again they should, there will still just be those little questions, Matt, about the tidiness around the edges here.
I think so. I mean, particularly the batting that definitely the batting that we've already seen. We saw starts, you got Will Jackson's 50, no one else got more than 30.
Adil Rashid back into the attack, down the leg side, and a huge heave from Justin Mosca. Misses. It's another dot ball.
I think he's telling himself he tried to hit that too hard. A little paddle over short fine leg might have done the job.
Mosca waits. Left-hander for Rashid. It's drilled out towards the leg side. Bethel Fields once again throws left-handed. And in front of that big bank of spectators, there's an intriguing structure in the distance. There's a very ornate Victorian building.
It's the High Court, I believe.
Which is the High Court. That's where you went to get your sandwich the other day, and they wouldn't let you in.
Unsuccessfully, yeah.
Why not? Because you weren't up for...
Pretty much is what I was told through
trial.
broken English.
Right, okay. Yeah. 80 for 3. Rashid is tossed up and very nearly bowls Manenti, who gave it the most almighty heave. And another dot ball, the required rate creeping towards 12 and over suddenly. But beyond that, there's a modern blue building with what looks like the world's biggest golf ball on top of it. And I'm intrigued as to what it is. Rashid quicker this time, nicely punched off the back foot, out to deep cover for 1. It's 81 for 3. Required rate stands at 11.8. It presumably is some sort of satellite.
Sonar. I'm getting into dodgy ground here that I don't want to make myself sound silly on the radio.
You were going to say sonar, weren't you?
Like some sort of tracking sort of... You see those sort of RAF bases in England, don't you?
In the air, into the leg side. Can a fielder get underneath it? No, not quite. It's fumbled in the end, and there will be a second run as Bethel had to decide whether to risk what could have been quite a nasty fall. He decides in the end the sensible course of action is actually just to try and stop the ball, but he fumbles and 2 runs are taken. So 4 off the over so far, ball left of it.
Just seeing one of the previous balls, might have been an edge there, dropped by Joss Butler.
Rashid bowls, driven out towards wide, long off.
Menenti with a big swing and a miss, we thought, but on Snickle, Butler fumbled it behind the stumps. The ultra edge it is at this tournament, isn't it? Is showing that there's a little bit of a squiggle on there, so it's a missed chance from England.
There you go. It's a radar of some description, we think. Right, I'm getting out of the way. Are we having a double change here? Or we are, yeah, we're both going. So Matt, you disappear for the time being. And Stephen Finn is going to come and join us. Maybe Prakash can tell us more about the giant golf ball. Finny, thoughts on where we are in the game? 84 for 3, Italy need 119.
Well, nice partnership this between these two, Menenti and Mosca, but still feels as though Italy are a long way away. They need a couple of monster overs here to put England on the back foot. England will just retain the hope that if they take a wicket, the complexity of this chase increases for Italy.
Dawson, change of ends for him, now bowls on the leg stump. This got a little bit of edge on it, off the pad, probably just ricocheting down to Rashid, who comes off the inner circle. Fields one more to the total, 85 for 3. This partnership is worth 63 now of 37 balls between Mosca and Menenti. Menenti's got 39 of those, striking at 216 to every 100 balls faced. 118 if you're theoretically interested. Interesting bit of information just being shared after this ball as Dawson bowls, driven up the field. A single will accrue, 86 for 3. Right then, no associate batter has ever scored a T20I 50 against England. Both Tom de Groot for Netherlands, Lords 2009, and Richie Berrington for Scotland, Kolkata, just a couple of days ago, have fallen 1 run short on 49, and Menenti is on 40. He's at the non-strikers end at the moment. Mosca on strike to Dawson. Dawson is up, he bowls, full toss, worked away nicely on the onside. They'll get at least a couple as Phil Salt, I think, runs round and completes the fielding. A single will turn into 2, and the total moves up to 88 for 3 with the 11th over in progress. This has been good by Italy, hasn't it, Finney?
Very good, yeah. It would have been easy for them to subside and fade away, but these two have built a really nice partnership here. 66 from 39.
Dawson in that 2.5-3 steps to the bowling crease, bowls, and this one's been struck firmly. It's in the air, but it's over the fielder, Phil Salt, who was in from that deep boundary, and because he was not quite on the rope, this opportunity has gone a begging. So runs for Italy, 4 more of them, 92 for 3 now, and Mosca moves up to 39.
Well, it's nicely struck right out the middle of the bat, and you just wondered whether it would have the legs to get to Phil Salt, and he was sprinting around to his right as quick as he could, and the good timing of it takes it up over his head, and 4 more runs to Italy.
What's Dawson got up his sleeve now as he walks, breaks into a 2-step run, bowls, and this one's been hit away nicely square of the wicket on the offside. They'll just get 1 because Bethel's patrolling that boundary, and that'll take Italy to 93. Both batters now on 40. Menenti of 19 balls, and Mosca has taken 30 for his 40, but 71 run partnership for the 4th wicket just at the minute. Dawson about to complete his 2nd over, has gone for 17 so far, and will now come in and bowl the last ball of this over. Bowls, and this one's wide outside the off stump. The foot goes straight down the pitch, not towards the ball, and as a result there's no real chance of getting any timing on it. No run results. 93 for 3 after 11. And what's interesting, just at the minute, Finney, is that comparatively at this stage, England were 93 for 4.
Yes, but England had
so
that
in theory,
depth. Yes,
in
no, it's
theory,
but
yes.
They've played really well to get themselves back into this game, and you have to say they're in it. They're probably 1 wicket away from being not in it, but as long as these two can stay together and keep building the partnership, and the thing, they've not taken huge risks to hit their boundaries. They've been gifted quite a few of them by England, by some poor bowling. that has allowed them to smack the sixes, and they've taken advantage of it. So you have to take your hat off to it at the moment, but England just have to hang in there, take the wicket, then you can squeeze and restrict, and that should put it out of sight. But at the moment, Italy are there.
Jacques, having gone for 13 in his first over, is now back into the attack, and he's got fielders guarding the deep backward square, deep square and wide long on boundaries. Jacques bowls and looking to glide it away. He'll pick up a run as the return goes in at the non-striker's end from Adil Rashid, but the batter's home. Wasn't exactly a lightning throw from Rashid, who had to move to his left to field. 94 for 3 now in the 12th. Dusk here in Kolkata, haze through which the bright lights are ensuring that the Eden Garden is bathed in this white light, and cricket continues on this beautiful ground. Crowd support has been quite amazing. Jacques in bowls, and a swing and a miss, and the balls come right through everything down below us for 4 runs, and he probably did get some bat on it. The umpire signal certainly suggesting that, and they'll take them, Italy, whichever way they come. 98 for 3. Replay should tell us. It's a swipe, an ugly swipe, but 4 runs nevertheless, right behind the keeper. Jacques in again, bowls, and this time he strikes it well, and really well over the man at long on for yet another 6. 104 for 3. That's his 50. So the record that Henry told us, which 2 of the associate team's batters missed out on, and he becomes the first batter, does Barry Menenti, from an associate non-full member ICC team to get a 50 against England.
And he's played exceptionally well. Floated up by Will Jacques, a bit more flight on it, and he takes his opportunity, puts his big front foot down the middle of the pitch and times it wonderfully over wide long on. The fielder was never interested. The second it came off the bat, it was always going to be 6, and Italy hang in there still. 11 so far from this over.
Jacques in now to bowl to Menenti. Bowls this time on the leg stump, and he's lofted this one. It's going to be 6 more. Terrific batting this from Harry Menenti. 110 now for 3 of 11.4 overs, and Jacques is getting some stick.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot, and Jacques has bowled that one quicker out the front of his hand and tried to cramp Ben Menenti up for room, and all he does is has to help it on its way round the corner. Times it really nicely, and because of the pace on the ball down the leg side, it's a bit of a free hit. And Jacques under real pressure here.
Yeah, this over's gone for 17. 1-4-6-6. And a long conversation there at the far end with Jacques. And now Harry Brooks goes back to his fielding position, which is at short extra. 5 men, as you'd expect, in the deep, guarding the boundaries. 3 on the on, 2 on the off. Jacques bowls well outside the off stump, cracked away to the left of Jacob Bethel, and even he, with that desperate dive, is not able to bring it in. So this is turning out to be certainly one of the many monster overs that Italy would need if they are to really pose a threat. But at the moment, they are flying.
Well, they've picked their time as well. Will Jacques, he's had a few big overs in this tournament so far, and cast your mind back to the last T20 World Cup where he was taken down by Head and Warner inside that power play against Australia, and Italy making the most of it.
Jacques in again, bowls, and this one's outside the off stump, and he's hit it straight over the top. This is going to be caught, I think, and it is. So Menenti's brave and valiant effort comes to an end finally. Caught in the deep by Tom Banton coming off the boundary, and Jacques has his revenge, but it's a 21-run over nevertheless. Italy now 114 for 4, and Menenti can be proud of his effort.
Yep, very proud, and he had to keep going. And the plan had changed, and Jacques looking to bowl the ball towards the wide line on the offside, asking Menenti to try and drag it if he wants to hit it for 6 over the leg side from a very wide line. And because of that angle going across the right-hander, it means it's more of a toe of the bat as opposed to the middle, and all he can do is drag it slowly and loopily out towards long on, where Banton makes up good ground to come in and catch it probably 30 yards in from the boundary. But Menenti can be very proud about that inning. 60 from 25, 6 sixes no less in there, and he leaves Italy in touching distance still.
240 his strike rate, And he'll certainly talk about this for a long time to come, and rightly so, against a top-notch bowling attack here at the Eden Gardens. He's certainly etched himself in the minds of those who've come out here to watch, and many others who would be following the game. The few Italian fans that are here at the stadium certainly having a good time, enjoying the effort that we just saw. That partnership's now been broken, and the new man in is Grant Stewart, who will be at the non-striker's end as Dawson starts a fresh over to the left-handed Mosca, who is on 41, sort of acting like the glue that is required to just hold this innings together. Dawson in, bowls, and Mosca flat bats it down towards deep, wide, long on, or a straightish mid-wicket. He'll get only one because Phil Salt is very much in control of that boundary area. Limits it to a single. 115 for 4, but I think a run rate of 9.45 over 12 and a bit overs. Italy certainly have shown that they are well deserving and then some of their place in this tournament. Here's Dawson in again, and squirted away on the onside of the inside part of the bat. Singles all they'll get, but that gets Stewart off the mark, and Italy now 116 for 4 in the 13th over. Would you have expected this position at this stage with Italy chasing 203, Finney?
Well, you know they're going to give it a go, and with the way that the ball can fly about here in India, especially in Kolkata, on what is a fantastic batting surface, then there could be a partnership.
Dawson to Mosca is in. He bowls quicker, flatter, fuller, right under the bat, making sure there's no elevation possible, and a single is all that Mosca will get. He's up to 43 now, 117.
But it would take a brave effort, I felt, from the 3 wickets in the power play to then be able to back yourselves to keep going after the England bowlers, and have the conviction to take them down as and when they saw fit. So no, at the end of the power play I wouldn't have foreseen Italy adding the runs that they have in the last 6 or 7 overs, but you have to give them a lot of credit for the way that they've gone about it.
Certainly do, and that's just shows again, as we've seen repeatedly in this tournament. Here's Dawson bowls, and this one's a little bit back of a length. It's cracked away. This will run away off the practice pitches, wide of mid-off for 4 runs. Good shot that from Stewart. Just leant back to a ball that was a little bit short, and once it had beaten Harry Brook at short extra, there was only one place it was going. 121 for 4.
He's got a couple of these today, Dawson. It was nicely rocking back into his crease, Stewart, but a bit short, bit wide, and punished.
Wasn't a great delivery that from Dawson. He's in again now, and this one's on the stumps and cramps him for room as he tries to flay it on the offside. Won't get a run to Harry Brook. 121 for 4. Last ball of the 13th coming up. The win predictor puts Italy at 20%. Just the fact that they're in this game for as long as they are, I think, is a great achievement. This one's pulled away on the onside. They'll only get 1 on the practice pitches. It is fielded by Overton, and that will be the end of the 13th over. 122 for 4 now. 8 runs coming off that Dawson over, so he's now bowled 3 overs for 25. So Italy playing the spinners quite well, one would have to say, considering how England fared, relatively speaking. It was the pace that they were really able to get hold of towards the back end of the innings. 43 to Mosca, 6 to Stewart. And now we're back to seeing pace. Overton now has the ball in his hands, so Harry Brook probably saying in his mind, all right, everyone's had some fun, let's get back to business and try and knock this over and finish it as quickly as we can. Stewart, of course, experienced, playing in the county championship, as you heard from Stephen Finn, waits for Overton. Overton in bowls, and this one's over his left shoulder, attempting to pull it round. Doesn't make any contact. 1 for the over will probably get signal, will it? Umpire just walking down, no signal. 9.27 the current run rate. Of course, what is required is one still thinks well beyond Italy, but how far can they take this? How deep can they take this game? 122 for 4 now. And Overton, whose first 2 overs yielded 12 runs for 1 wicket. A change in the field now. Phil Salt being dispatched to the deep mid-wicket boundary to field. Wideish long on and deep backward square, and a short fine leg. This one's comical shot, effective, 4 runs right below us. He made some room, pulled away to the onside, had a swing, got the outside edge, and not far from the off stump. The ball flies behind the keeper for 4 runs. No chance there for anyone.
No, Stewart's a very capable batter. It's an unconventional shot, stepping miles outside leg, and because Overton, I think it did, I don't think the umpire made the correct single, but the field change suggests that the umpire did call that first ball of the over a bouncer, so Overton has to pitch these balls up.
In again bowls, and once again in a strange looking position as Stewart is 2 feet sort of wide, square chested, looking to somehow get some bat and place it between the 2 men at point. Short third and backward point, didn't make any contact. Butler took it. 126 for 4 now. Stewart on 10. He's moving around quite a bit in his crease. Don't think that's going to throw Overton off. He's got his plan in place for sure, and he's now getting Adil Rashid to come up into the circle and pushing mid-off back on to the long off boundary, suggesting, in some ways telegraphing as well to the batter what he might expect. Of course, Overton in from the high court end. In he comes, he bowls, and this time he looks to ramp it over the third man area. Doesn't make any contact, and this time the umpire makes the signal for the bouncer.
Yeah, so he must not have given, I think you only get 1 bouncer, don't you? So he must not have given the first one, but on the replay it was definitely a bouncer, the first one, so he's got away with that, Overton.
He's in now, trying to get some bat on ball. This one's well wide of the off stump and signaled so, and Overton's not pleased. He thinks he'd nailed it on the blue line. The umpire thinks otherwise, and that's what counts. So 1 more run to the total. 127 for 4 now, and even 2 runs a ball now required for the rest of the innings, which is very unlikely irrespective of who you are and what the opposition is, but given this particular opposition, highly unlikely. Here's Overton in, bowls to Stewart, and once again he pulls away. Might be better off actually. 4 times he's attempted to move around in the crease and find space on the offside, and he's struck nothing but thin air.
Yeah, well, the field's up, isn't it? Backward point, short third, so he's thinking Overton, a bit more pace, try and use that pace to guide it as opposed to hit against it towards the bigger boundary, which is towards the leg side as we see it at the moment. But Overton is bowling nicely, mixing his pace well.
Yeah, the last one was 140 kilometers and over, and Grant Stewart now settles over his bat and waits for Overton. He's in, he bowls, and this time he gets bat on ball, but not with any great conviction. He'll just get a run down to deep mid-wicket, and the return will come in. End of a good over in the context of the game. Just 6 runs off it for Overton. It's now 128 for 4 with 14 overs bowled and time for drinks. Time also for us to get your thoughts, Finney, on what and how you think England have gone in this defence of their clearly match-winning total, one thinks, of 202.
Yeah, I mean, the power play was excellent. I thought Archer and Overton started really well. The spinners, Rashid and Dawson, were a bit off it, and Jacks were a bit off it in setting the tone when they got the ball in their hand. I think Dawson and Rashid, both their first balls were hit for 6, weren't they? So you're on the back foot already as a bowler when that happens, and they've struggled to contain through those middle overs. When the ball was flying around a bit, they struggled to contain and didn't look like they had too many ideas about how the Italian players would get out, apart from them putting one straight down a fielder's throat. So food for thought, definitely, but I thought Overton just bowled a good over there. The rate has escalated to 12.5, and 2 more good overs here starts to heap the pressure really on Italy through the latter stages of this game.
My mathematics serves me right. 73 runs have come off the 7 overs of spin. That tells a story. Particularly Jack's 34 of his 2. Rashid's gone for 14 of his 2, and Dawson 25 of his 3. So Jack's really the one bowler who's been taken down by the Italian batters more than anyone else. Moscow on 43, Stewart is 11. 2 wickets in that first over, remember, which really set Italy back, one thought. But then that belligerent innings from Manenti, really giving Italy the momentum they wanted, and they find themselves at 128 for 4 with 6 overs to come, and the unlikely prospect of getting 75 runs of 36. The question is, how close can they get? They can hold their head firmly high up for the performance they've put on in this tournament. They have really been a strong side, as they showed in that very, very commanding defeat of Nepal, who performed so well in that opening game. And we've been saying it all through the tournament, haven't we, Finney, that this format, 24 games, 24 teams, I beg your pardon, and really opens it up. It's been some really good games, and some of the less fancied, shall we say, teams have come out and shown what they're capable of.
Yeah, it's a shop window, isn't it? It's an opportunity to show what else is out there. I think it creates some really nice narratives. We've learned a lot about players that we knew nothing about before, and some of them have made some really good performances throughout this tournament.
Rashid with the first over after the drinks break, and it's coming straight at us. It's coming down well over the side screen onto the lower balcony, and people taking evasive action. That was a brute of a shot from Stewart, and it comes sailing towards us. 134 for 4, and he moves up to 17, does Stewart. That's
a monster, eh? Adil Rashid has flighted this up really slowly and invited Stewart to, I think Rashid was trying to get him to play across the line, but it's too full to do that, and Stewart can just step towards it and absolutely wallops it back over the bowler's head for 6, and Rashid under pressure first ball.
Done that a few times against the spinners today, the Italians. First ball for 6. 3 men in a row from point to short backward point. Rashid bowls, and this one's hit away towards wideish long off. They'll take 1, and total moves to 135 for 4 now in the 15th over. Left-hander Mosca comes on strike. He's on 43 of 33. He's batted really well. Saw his brother depart in the first over, but he certainly held on. And he now waits for Rashid. Rashid bowls, tosses it up, and Mosca's, I think, hit this straight down the throat. Yes, he has. Simple catch there for Banton, who takes his second one in the deep, and that is the wicket you were talking about, Finney. Probably what will signal the beginning of the end. 135 for 5 now, and Mosca, after a good hand of 43 of 34, departs and leaves Italy in a position where they find themselves 135 for 5 now. The run rate 9.3 required, almost 12.5 runs and over.
You feel as though Rashid might have got away with one there. It's a very similar delivery to the one that he bowled Grant Stewart earlier in the over. Mosca, maybe slightly smaller in stature, or definitely smaller in stature, doesn't quite have the reach that Stewart has to be able to get right to the pitch of the ball, and can just skew it off the inside half of the bat down to Tom Banton at long on, who takes an easy catch running in from the long on boundary, and that partnership's broken. But Mosca, after seeing the carnage ensue from the other end, losing 3 partners inside the power play, stood firm, built a partnership with Ben Manenti through the middle overs, and then has tried to explode his team towards what would be an improbable victory. He hasn't managed to do so, but he can hold his head very high.
Campopiano, the new man in, right-hander, marks out his guard, looks around the field, where he finds 2 men behind point inside the ring. The imposing figure of Harry Brook at short extra, the England captain, and Archer inside the ring at 45. Rashid bowls, and Campopiano is struck on the pad. There's a muted appeal from Rashid. No support or no interest really from Butler, and neither the umpire. 135 for 5. 2 balls to come in the 15th. So 32 balls to come. And you think back on the England innings, towards the back end they really got going. The last 5 or 6 overs they went at almost 15 to 17 runs and over. Pushed away defensively for Brook to field. Order being restored after that early blow for 6 off this over from Rashid, who now has 1 ball to come in the 15th. This over's gone for 7 so far, and Rashid will close it out. Here he is in bowls, tosses it up, waits on it, does Campopiano, and he'll get off the mark with a single down to deep extra cover. That'll mark the end of the 15th over. 5 overs to come, 136 for 5, 8 coming off this, and Campopiano on 1, Stewart on 18, more from Stephen Finn, and then to take you to the conclusion of the game, Henry Moran.
Well, England just need to keep closing this out here. rate escalating every time there's not a boundary hit. 13.4 runs and over needed for these last 5, so there's still a fighting chance for Italy, but it would take a miracle. Grant Stewart, who has done it in domestic cricket in the UK, is going to have to play a magical innings, bunting sixes all over the place to get Italy anywhere near here, it feels, but you never know.
Sloppy this has been. I think possibly we've been a little underselling quite how loose things have been at times from England. Is that me being unfair and grumpy? Here comes Sam Curran from the far end of the ground, whipped away into the leg side, out towards Rashid at fine leg to pick up, and there is 1 taken. Score moves to 137 for 5.
Well, I think certainly England would want someone to get at least 80 with the bat, and that's been lacking throughout the tournament, to post a really imposing total. Not just over 200, but you're looking 220, 230. You need someone to go on and get 80. So yes, people throwing away their starts has been sloppy a little bit, and getting in and out of overs is an important element of T20 bowling. So again, something that England can improve on, but it's a game of T20, and it's so hard to make judgments on sloppiness.
Round the wicket comes Curran. It's dug out for 1 down the ground. Required rate stands at 13.93. The only reason I feel that we can perhaps level the charge at England of sloppiness is it feels like we're having the same conversation time and again.
Well, I mean, they haven't dropped any catches. The ground fielding's been good. The execution of, being hit for 6 first delivery of your over then puts you on the back foot mentally as a bowler, but it's about winning games. Just win the game, move on to the next one.
Here comes Curran round the wicket. It's well bowled. It's a wide Yorker, which nothing he can do with. Campopiano has got 2 from 5 now, 138 for 5.
I think sometimes we look for outrage when we don't necessarily need to be.
I like being outraged. No, I don't. Here is Curran again at the end of his mark. 65 needed off 27 for Italy, who are 5 down, and Curran bowls. It's been hit in the air, down the ground, could be a chance of a catch. Oh, very well taken. Tom Banton to his left, sliding on his knees, takes a really good catch. It was a full toss. Could easily have been smacked out of Calcutta as it is. They may even check it for waist high. No, I think they've done that check. And so Italy are 6 down. So England, who have the wicket, in fact they are just going to check it, but I think this is below waist height.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you're really annoyed as a batter that you've missed out on smacking a full toss, but it's going to be just below the waist from Sam Curran. And the batter, disappointed, has to depart. Campopiano. Grant Stewart is still there though, but running out of partners.
Indeed. So 138 for 6 the score, and England closing in on a victory that would have been, well, I think at the halfway stage you'd have felt almost guaranteed with the target of 203. I don't think it's ever been in jeopardy, really. There was that over that Jacks was getting smacked all over the place, but yeah, that was it, really, wasn't it?
Well, this is the least nervous I've felt through any of these 4 games. When you get the sense of the nerves out there, and when you're watching thinking they could throw this away, they might not get the right end of this result. The most extreme version of that was the Nepal game, and then in second place was the Scotland game, clearly, but at no stage have I felt as though England would have felt nervous out there. But
so you're of the view, you think, actually you just get the job done, and as long as you get the job done. Next delivery from Curran, gets a wicket. There's a court behind. It's very muted celebrations as Jos Buttler gets a high 5, and Sam Curran's taken 2 in 2. And in and out, Giampiero Mida, the wicket-keeper, has to go. 138 for 7.
Well, he's only recently got a T20 international hat-trick, hasn't he? I think was it in Sri Lanka he got a hat-trick? Sam Curran, I think.
He did, yeah.
Anyway, he's on track for another one. He's got 1 in the 100. I know he's got a couple elsewhere, so he's seems to be an expert hat-trick bowler, and he's going to have another opportunity here.
Indeed. So out first ball, and it is now subsiding for Italy, who still require 65 from 25, and England are closing in on the Super 8s, and there is the chance of a hat-trick, which would be exciting to see, Finney.
It would be. A nice searing Yorker would be the order of the day here, if I was Sam Curran. Light up the zinger bells, it's a way to do it in style, isn't it?
Well, we're going to see Jaspreet Singh, who bowled reasonably nice, actually, when he got the opportunity earlier on today. And he waits now in the blue of Italy, with Sam Curran at the end of his mark and a slip in place and a hat-trick ball, as the big screen tells us over there in the fug in the distance. Here comes Curran. It's been slashed away on the bounce out towards deep backward point. For a moment, aerial. It wasn't the Yorker, it was short and wide, really. 139 for 7, end of the over. 4 overs remain, and Italy requires 64 from 24 at a run rate of 16.
Yeah, and the wickets clearly just stem any flow of runs. That's why it's so important to keep the mindset of trying to take the wickets, have a plan all the time, even if you're feeling a little bit defensive or you're erring on the side of being defensive. I think especially in a T20 game, in those middle overs, think wickets, because wickets slow everything down. That's exactly what we've seen here. Really good partnership through those middle overs. For Italy, would have had England wondering what if, but as soon as you break through that, it allows you the opportunity to be able to squeeze and contain. That's exactly what England have done, and you can turn to one of their big guns now, Jofra Archer.
Tom Banton, by the way, tournament leader in terms of catches, 8 out of 8. Here comes Jofra Archer rushing in and bowling a ball which is just too quick for Jaspreet. Fizzes on past the inside edge, and Archer's bowled 3 overs, 2 for 22. And he's looking to close out with another wicket. So we see a replay of the 2 wickets and 2 balls. It was a filthy full toss from Curran. Next ball was much better, finding the outside edge. And Italy 139 for 7. Here comes Archer over the wicket. Deep third and fine leg back. Archer in full delivery, dug out. There could be trouble if the throw hits, and it does. They'll check this. Tom Banton praising his catching. Well, that was an excellent throw. Laser-like precision from the Somerset man. The big dive came in from Jaspreet, who ended up in a great big heap. Maybe they won't check this.
No, I think he's miles in.
Oh.
He's almost off the cut strip, I'm saying, when he's in there.
Oh, don't give me that, Finney. He's not.
Well,
yeah. He was home. I'll give you that.
yeah.
Foot in, probably. 63 off 22 required for Italy, who've been impressive, I have to say. Archer rushing in once more. Past the umpire and skewed away in the air, down the ground, and for 6. Well, there's some timing from Stewart. It was skewed, really. There was a lot of fade on it. It was sort of sliced as much as anything, but the pace on the ball, it has to be said, was met from the violence from the bat. It's come off the middle somehow, and away it goes over the wide log off.
Yeah, he's chopped across the ball, but much like Jos Buttler does when he chops across the ball, if you get that timing perfect, it does seem to go a long, long way. So Stewart is a strong man, big forearms, snaps his wrist on that from Jofra Archer and sends him back over his head for 6. I'd be surprised if this wasn't slammed in halfway down from Jofra Archer.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? 146 for 7, 57 needed from 21. As in comes Archer to try once more. Well, it's not quite that sort of ball. It's one that follows the right-hander. It was not unlike the ball he delivered to Martin Guptill in the World Cup final, just following the right-hander. Literally somewhat different scenario in this instance, but do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. Inside edge onto the pad and just dribbles back to Jos Buttler. But actually, as a quick bowler there, we're sat up here saying we'll just bounce him, you've been walloped over your head, but the batter will be thinking that as well. He'll be thinking, Jofra Archer, I've just hit him over his head, this will be a bouncer, so the batter will be hanging back, and any top edge here in India is 6. So Archer looking to bluff or second guess the batter by going full and at the stumps, but not quite getting the wicket.
146 for 7. Archer with 2 balls left of his spell is coming rushing in once again, runs in past the umpire now, and that one is shorter, and a flashing attempted cut over backward point is missed by Stewart. He was on 25 off 17. And Archer's spell today, 2 for 29 with 1 ball left of it. He looked ultra threatening in the first over where he took 2 wickets. It looked at that point like Italy might be beaten by a really sizable margin, but it's going to be a sizable margin with 57 needed from 19, but not as many as it could have been. Archer in for his final ball of his night's work. Runs in now and banged in short. There's the top edge and there's 6. Well, you called it. Anything that's the top edge is going to go sailing away. And the 150 comes up for Italy, who require 51 from 18. Maybe we're not quite done yet. Archer finishes with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 35.
Yeah, the figure butcherer off the last ball, and Archer going for that banged in short ball. Stewart gave himself room outside the leg stump and just flayed the bat at in the pace, and the size of the edge on the bat means it carries all the way back onto the sight screen at the wrong end of the ground for 6. But certainly that's the conundrum that you have to weigh up the whole time as someone who can bowl 90 miles an hour. In these situations, if someone's half expecting a short ball, you can still beat them and get hit for 6 by outfoxing them. So unfortunate for Archer, but he set the tone really well inside that power play, and it should be enough for England. But 51 is it off the last 3 overs needed? 51 from 18 balls, and Rashid bowling here.
Rashid bowls, whacked across the line from Jasprit, and he's sort of done his job there because he's going to get Stewart on strike, and Adil Rashid will be bowling the senior batter who's played nicely, 31 off 17.
Yeah, Jasprit wanted to come back for 2 there, not reading the game situation.
No.
You let your fellow who can biff 6s face as many balls as possible here. Stewart will be looking to target straight. I'd imagine it's either going to be quick out the front of the hand into the pitch or slow and wide from Rashid.
He's in now, it is quick, and it's hit down the ground, but along the floor, and probably just for 1. It is just a single. Throw quickly in from the deep from Banton. 49 needed off 16. The required rate 18 and over. Grant Stewart is not a name you associate with Italy necessarily, just sort of name-wise. Here is Rashid. It's flogged into the leg side, out towards the deep. Well, maybe we did a disservice to Jasprit. He's got 6 runs over deep mid-wicket. 43 needed from 15.
Well, I think Adil Rashid's gone shopping there. He's tossed this up, but it's not tossed up wide, it's tossed up on the stumps, and a little pigeon step towards the pitch of the ball, and a big mow of the arms across the line. Carries it all the way 75 metres for 6 over a wide long on.
Italy require 43 off 15 balls. Rashid bowls. That's not timed well. Down the ground it goes towards deep mid-wicket for just the 1 run. 42 needed off 14. But Grant Stewart, he looks quite Italian.
Yeah.
In terms of, he's got the stubble and he could be on a Gucci advert. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he'd take that.
Yeah, well, most of us would.
Yeah, me too.
Here comes Rashid, a quicker ball, hit in the air, down the ground. It might be 6 more, it is 6. And dropped by a gentleman in a Real Madrid shirt, well beyond the boundary. Italy need 36 from 13, and we're not done yet.
No, certainly not done yet. Stewart is a fine striker of the cricket ball. This one's rapid out the front of the hand from Rashid, looking to cramp Stewart up for room, but the back of a length means he can get underneath it. It flies.
Rashid in again, outside the off stump, hit down the ground, could be 6 more, it is! And Italy will need 30 runs from 12 balls. Stewart's 44 from 20. England are being given a real test by the tournament debutants.
Well, brilliant striking. And he's not famed for being able to go up and over the offside like that, but it's wide outside the off stump from Rashid, and it's just bludgeoned down the ground. The shorter straight boundaries as well counting in his favour, and he's fired up, punching gloves aggressively with Jasprit, his partner, and 21 off that over from Rashid. You don't see that happen all that often, but it's happened here in this partnership. 35 from 13. Sam Curran is going to be entrusted with this 19th over, which means it'll be Overton for the 20th.
But if they can repeat the trick, 35 from 13, they need 30 from 12. Full debrief wherever this one goes on the Test Match Special podcast on BBC Sounds to follow. We'll have reaction from both camps. Italy have done a brilliant job here, whatever the outcome. It's a flat pitch. England scored 202 for 7. Italy are 173 for 7. 2 overs left. The unthinkable is still yet possible. 15 and over required. Massive 6 balls from Sam Curran. Jasprit on strike. Outside the off stump. Wide. The crowd love it. 29 needed from 12.
Yeah, Curran's going to try and stay away from any sort of leg side swinging arc. Fine leg is inside the circle, square leg is inside the circle, so this field is very much set for Curran to attack that wide line with both pace on and pace off deliveries. Ask the batters to drag it from out there.
Curran again. Walking away from us and now beginning to lengthen his stride, running into bowl to Jasprit. It's a full delivery which is sliced away out towards deep cover for 1. 28 needed for 11, but he's done his job in getting Stewart onto strike on 44 off 20.
Well, it's interesting, it's fun, isn't it? Not fun if you're in the England dugout, I don't think.
Well, no, Brendan McCullum, normally a vision of chill, biting his nails, shown on the big screen a minute ago, alongside a very nervous looking Tim Southey and Marcus Trescothick. It was 138 for 7 when this partnership came together. Stewart now waiting for Sam Curran, and he struck on the pad. Big appeal for LBW is given. And he's reviewed it immediately, whether because of the match situation or a certainty of an inside edge, but the decision is gone in England's favour. And we will have a little look at this. Upstairs we go with Alahuddin Palika.
We have a player review for
I think there might be a little inside edge on this one. Yeah, it was so quick to review it, wasn't it? There was no consultation, so maybe the faintest scratch.
Well,
ball's close to the back.
Very close to it. He doesn't look certain, I think it's fair to say, from the body language. Here's ultra edge.
Yeah, you can just feel
edge.
It
there it is. Not out.
Next to the back.
But a dot ball.
DK, I'm going to ask you to reverse
single.
The
they ran a single to backward point.
Stand by. The on-screen signal now.
So,
although because it's given out, maybe it's a dead ball and they switch ends. No?
Let's see what the scoreboard said. This is the eternal...
The umpires are conferring. So
yeah, it's the eternal question that at some point is going to be a real problem in a game. Single's gone up on the scoreboard.
I mean, that feels harsh, doesn't it? They're making the batters switch ends. So it will be a dot ball because it was given out, which...
Dead ball as soon as the decision's given.
Yeah, I'd feel aggrieved, to be honest, if I was Italy in that situation.
Well, this is... one day when the ball runs down to the fine leg boundary off somebody's pads, but there was a little bit of edge or something in a World Cup final ball. It's the only time they'll change the law, but it needs changing.
Stewart is, it's an oversight from the MCC and the laws.
44 from 21 is Stewart, and he waits for Curran now. It's a short ball which is hit away on the bounce towards deep backward point and Jofra Archer. Italy require 27 from 9. There have been a couple of monster overs, Finney, as you asked for, and we've seen a couple.
There's been some great ball striking, hasn't there? We're very well aware of what Grant Stewart can do, having watched him for a long time in domestic cricket, played against him in domestic cricket.
Jasprit's 11 from 7. .27 needed from 9. Here comes Sam Curran once again, outside the off stump. That's wide. By some distance as well in the end. 26 needed from 9.
You can tell he just wants to go nowhere near the swinging arc.
Well, understandably so, but England have been, in the main, pretty disciplined compared to other matches. Just the 3 wides in the innings so far. And the margins are so tight.
Yeah, and at this stage of the game, I would rather a player miss that side of the wide line than bowl one on a length on off stump.
26 needed from 9. Italy still believe. You can see that in the dugout below us. Why shouldn't they? 177 for 7. This is in the air, but it's on the bounce towards Rashid, who will safely field at short third. 1 taken, 25 needed off 8. Stewart will be on strike with 2 balls left of the 19th over. One doesn't want to be disrespectful to Italy, but this is a country that doesn't have a single natural cricket field. And the fact they're running England close is an enormous credit to them. It has to be said. This World Cup has kept on delivering. It really has. England making minute changes to the field. Jofra Archer's taking a couple of steps to his right at deep backward point. As Sam Curran comes in round the wicket to bowl to Stewart. In now, and that is in the air, and he has been dismissed. Well, there is the wicket. And England can now celebrate, because Stewart's vigil comes to an end. The catch taken at short third by Dawson. What that came off and how it got there, I can't be sure. But Stewart is out 45 from 23, and Italy are 178 for 8. And Sam Curran, as he had to do against Nepal, has bowled an excellent over. Yeah, it's just a toe end that's skewed away straight to Dawson.
Yeah, Dawson calm under that one, just took a step to his left, and a very simple catch, but well played. Grant Stewart, 45 from 23. He gave his team a fighting chance there towards the end. And he made the most of the platform that was set for him with that partnership through the middle of the innings between Mosca and Manenti. He'll be disappointed that he didn't manage to biff a couple more 6s, because it could have been a nervy last over or so for England here. Instead, having dismissed him, England will breathe a little sigh of relief, but they still have to be on their guard. 25 from 7 is a compatible number, even if it is an unlikely one.
But it is unlikely when you're 8 down. Kula Gamaga, player of the match in the last game, but for his leg spin. The pizza chef. 25 needed from 7 balls. Curran to bowl to the right-hander. As England on the cusp of the Super 8s. And Sam Curran running in to bowl a full ball, dug out into the offside. There'll be no run, and it'll be 25 required from the final over to be bowled, no doubt, by Jamie Overton. So Curran finishes with figures 3 overs, 3 for 22, and he's done a good job today with the ball. Yeah,
and especially in that over there when there was carnage for the 2 previous overs before that, he just took a deep breath and decided on what his plan was going to be, and then pretty much executed it throughout that over there, just to give Harry Brook a bit of calm, and he seems, when England are under pressure, to be the person who's handling the best at the moment.
Coming up shortly, by the way, we're not far away, around about 40 minutes from Sri Lanka against Australia. Massive game. Australia lose it, and then Zimbabwe beat Ireland tomorrow. That will see elimination for Australia. 25 needed from 6 balls. We're not quite done. Jasprit will need to do something quite astonishing, as in comes Jamie Overton from the far end, bustling in, swing and a miss. We are now getting into the realms of mathematical impossibility, as long as Overton manages to deliver legal balls. 25 required from 5. Paul says England have been sloppy every game. Paul's not happy. Overton bowls, it's gone a mile up into the air. Fielder running in from the boundary, takes a safe catch, and Will Jacks it is, who had to makes some distance in. Not only that, but the ball seemed to have been dropped almost from the floodlights. It went a mile up, but he takes the catch. 178 for 9 early on in the 20th over. Italy require 25 from 4, and Overton strikes.
Yeah, Overton looking to just bowl as quick as he can. This was at the stumps and attempting to hit it down the ground. Was probably through the shot a touch early, and it's just gone pretty much vertical up the chimney. And Will Jacks, he had to run in from the edge of the 30-yard circle and settle underneath it, and takes a good catch, because they're never easy when it goes up into the night sky vertically like that. And Italy lose their 9th. It's been a valiant effort. Jasprit Singh will be happy with his 6th that he walloped off Adil Rashid over wide long on.
So the final wicket sees Ali Hassan come to the middle. And 25 from 4 doesn't go, as here comes Overton. Full delivery, which is dug out with the toe end of the bat with Hassan. He's not said, can I have middle please, or even off umps. He's marked his guard somewhere near square leg by the looks of it.
Even if he's wearing his bowling boots, that's even better. I love that from bowlers.
Just making the point that those with the responsibility for batting should be doing the batting. Here comes Overton. And again, I'm going to say now Hassan's not a batter.
Well, it's probably fair to say.
Swing and a miss.
Overton's got an international wicket staring him in the face if he can hit the stumps.
25 needed from 2 balls. Italy 178 for 9. We'll have full reaction at the conclusion of this. 2 balls left. Overton turns. Begins an approach of 15 or so paces. Running in now. And again, a massive step to the leg side. I could watch this. I could watch this all day. It's enormous fun.
This is a free international wicket, just staring him in the face.
It is, isn't it?
I'll take it.
Final ball of the game. Overton. It's almost like the bowl off, isn't it? Just hit the stumps.
I hope he hits this for 6.
Here comes Overton. Interval to Hassan. Bowls him! Well, there it was. Full straight. Italy all out for 178. And there, the game finishes at least with a significant punctuation mark as the stumps are splattered, and wow, up go the fireworks. Wasn't expecting that. That's a sight. Goodness me. A little treat for the fans that wasn't necessarily on the radar. From the far end of the ground, suddenly the most enormous firework display. Well, there you go. England have won 24 runs. They're through to the Super 8s.